I have to send my beads to you, but I won't be able to do that. You know what? I'll stay in touch with you
I'm
after I,
actually
after I
closer
get,
to you now.
what?
I'm closer to you now.
Yeah, I know. I had so much going on in June.
Yeah.
Oh, Renee, you have no idea. It's going to be, I don't know if you're aware of this. I don't know your chart. I don't know where Mars is right now in your chart, in terms of Capricorn, because Mars is transiting through Capricorn right now. It will conjunct transiting K2
Yes.
on June 8th.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, we see
Hello.
your logo.
Oh, you're seeing my logo? Oh, here we go. There's my video.
Hello.
Yay!
Hi,
Hi.
Karyn. Hi, Abby.
Beautiful walk. Oh my God, what a day. It's cold, but it's a day. It's a sunny day. And I went to the cove and I tried to jump in with my bathing suit. It was so cold I couldn't do it. And I can do almost anything in the water. It just was so freezing windy. I walked away. That's okay. I gave it my best shot and I got to see all the little mermaids and fairies and have my dose. So let's start with a prayer. You know what? Let me just see who's here. Janie. Hi, Janie. Renee. Candy. Abby. Gowrie. Oh, it's just us. It's just us girls. It's just four of us. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, it's kind of nice to have the four of us. Renee's first day at Menlo Spa. How did that go?
I literally just got home.
Oh my God, yeah, so you're like me, woo! Yeah, and how was your day?
It was really good. It was really good.
Wow, so did you get treatments and everything?
I gave 2 facials and I'm set up to do a training in June to learn their Tibetan Chinese Ayurvedic specialty massage.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm excited.
That sounds amazing. We all want to come to Menlo Spa now that you're there.
Yes, I'm very excited.
Wow, that sounds really cool. Maybe you could share, well, maybe not with everybody. I don't know if everybody cares so much about that. I care. I know Gowrie would probably.
Yes.
Yeah, or maybe everybody would. Just like, what is that? That's Tibetan, Chinese, and Ayurveda in 1 hour?
That was a weird amalgamation, and there's a book she told me to get, so of course I'm gonna go get it. And once I know more, you'll know more.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and Greek too. Greek as well.
Greek?
Greek.
Oh my God, I've never heard of that. Okay, well, we're all standing by.
Okay.
Yeah. Or, maybe we'll all plan a trip and just get it firsthand. I really want to go up there. I really want to do a trip up there with everybody. Maybe that will be where the next retreat will be. But I did just make reservations at Shivananda Ashram for a retreat in this February. So I don't think it's going to be related to the Ayurveda program, but I reserved 2 weeks. So 1 week I'm thinking yoga therapy with Kim Valerie and some Ayurveda and a little bit of Jyotish. And then the week prior, all cards, a card week. Woo!
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So, but I do want to do Menlo. And I'm thinking Menlo would be like a fall or a summer thing because it's so beautiful there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And the season is just beautiful with the mountains. And so, okay, so let's begin with Om Sahana Vavatu, if you want to sing with me. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahaveyam Karavalahai, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Mavidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, so still we have Renee, Candy, Abby, and Gowrie, and Molly. Molly has come back. Woo! Hi, Molly G. So let's, I talked to Molly G earlier. That's why I say come back, because she and I chatted today earlier. So it was a great chat. And I was going to call you too, Gowrie. And I had it on my list. I had an omen that just told me I wasn't going to be able to connect with you. This dark egret flew across the skies. I was thinking I'm going to call Gowrie, and then just egret. And like, I guess that's probably not going to happen. But I really do believe in omenology. The animals speak. Gowrie, did you want to say something?
Yes, this morning, this was very unusual. I was awoken at 6 o'clock by a mourning dove. Does anyone know what that sounds like, the coo of a mourning dove?
Oh, I do. So sweet.
And you know, I'm thinking, my God, there's a bird in my room, right? And then I saw it at my window on the east side.
Oh, East is auspicious.
And it was right at my screen of my window.
Oh, he's talking to you.
How? And then, of course, Milo, my cat, saw it, and he went running in
Oh.
and it had his face, and it never laughed.
Oh my
Because there was
God.
the cat there.
He's fearless.
And then I researched it because I have this great book
I have
that a
that
client
book.
gave me.
So cool.
It
Animals.
is a phenomenal reading when a dove comes to you. And I won't get into it because you have to teach, but it's mind-blowing.
Oh, well,
It's auspicious.
I want to know. I mean, I've got such a good feeling about that omen for you.
It's so good for the Shakti, for female Shakti. It
And you
rules
could
Venus.
call this in too, because you're like Saint Francis out there with all the animals feeding the raccoons, and they all love you, you know. So I want to hear this new dove story, but we'll have a talk because I have so much I wanted to share. Really, you were on my mind, and then that egret, and then a car drove by, and all these things distracted me, and I wasn't able. I knew I wasn't going to get to you. So I do believe that these birds, especially, and butterflies, bugs, anything that flies. It is true omenology, which is a leg of Jyotish, you know, and some of these Jyotishis just use omenology, and that's all they use. So and I'd like to add more of that into my world. But and you could easily, Gowrie, with you being like Saint Francis of Assisi with all your animals. So she's, surrounded by all kinds of lake creatures and forests, and I actually would love to visit where you are, as well as visit Menlo. And so, okay, so we should get right to it because I have so many things I want to share with you. And Mary G. Hello, Mary G. She just joined us. This is great. Candy is here. And did Abby go? Wait, somehow my screen just shrinks.
I'm
no,
here.
Abby, you're there.
I just turned my video off because I'm having dinner. Sorry.
Okay, eat your dinner. Do. I'm laughing at myself. I'm a little giddy today. I don't know where do came from, but go. Do. Okay, so I have two topics, and I sent you a handout. So please look at your email if you haven't already. The email will have a handout that will first review the Bhava conditions. Since we spent so long on Graha conditions, and we all know how to find first-tier strength, second-tier strength, debilitation, and all these conditions with specific grahas, we now need to move into the next phase of introduction to Vedic cosmology, and that's Bhava condition. So we're going to look at the houses, and I'd like to ask if somebody would like to volunteer their chart, and we could dissect your chart and just go house by house, acknowledging all the things that that house says. And then we can do interpretations. But first we want to analyze, step by step, what each house brings to the table. Is there anyone that would like to volunteer their chart? Because if you don't want to, I can pull up a study chart.
Karyn, it's Mary. I'm happy to share my chart.
Okay, good. Thank you. Let me pull your chart and share the screen. Pull up your email and pull out that table that I made. The table I made, someone might want to make it a better table. I couldn't get it to be perfectly coherent and cohesive, but it's good enough for now, so we can get our studies tonight done. All right, Mary, I know your last name is with a G, so I'm gonna open.
Okay.
And I can never pronounce that G, but get G-U, G, there you are, G-U. Okay, so here's Mary's chart. And we're gonna go step by step, starting with the first house. And I'm gonna open up, where did that thing go? Here it is, house condition chart. So this is what we're gonna work with, house condition chart. Okay, I'm gonna shrink this a little bit. Oh, where'd it go? There it is.
Karyn, the chart looks much better on Google. On the Google Drive.
Oh, if I open on Google Drive, it looks more coherent?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Maybe I could.
I didn't know what you were talking about because I was looking at it and then I saw it on your screen.
You saw it, it's like kind of all disproportionate. So let's do a new tab, Google. Oh, you know what? I'll have to go get the Google link. I don't know, maybe it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
It is worth it?
No.
No, let's forget it, because who cares about if the table is exactly, like this one is a little too big and this one's a little too skinny, but it's all there. It's all that matters. So let's just shrink it down and look at Mary's chart. So the first thing we're going to do, and can everybody see? If everybody can see, that's what I care about. You can all see Mary's chart as well as, maybe not my whole table, but I will try to move it over so everybody can.
We can see it. You go right ahead. Just
Okay.
move it back and forth.
Okay, thank you, Janie. I want to make sure it's visible because I'm sharing my screen, and it's a big screen, but a lot of stuff here. Okay, we're going to take house 1, and I gave you another chart that you already had anyways, but where did that go? Hold on. It wasn't a chart, it was a form or a document, and it was this one, Baba Conditions, this one, PDF, this one, and it has all the things we're going to analyze. See these charts? They're just all spread out for you. So with that, put that, if you can print it out or leave it somewhere open on your screen. We're going to.
While we're on that, before you go into that, I would like to ask that you send me that, because I'd like to go ahead and get that professional version of that. And I tried to get it, but it says error on it. So I don't know what is going on with this particular program.
I'm not sure what you mean. You could not get this PDF in the email?
Renee sent me the Prasanna's light, and I went to go get on it, and it said that it was down.
Parashva's light?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this has nothing to do with Parashva's light. This is just a PDF that has all the charts on it, and it's in an email. You don't have to go to Google for it. Just pull it out of your email.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, is there any way we can get the professional thing that you do so that we don't have to sit there and bounce around like this?
Professional thing. I don't know any professional thing.
Parashva's light.
Parashva's light is well, I don't really understand your question. It's a $300 program, or maybe $350.
Right. But
And
at
that's-
least it gives you not that it's professional, but at least gives you an indicator of where you're going with the trikshas, with the guras, with the babas, with all of that, so that you've got something that you can kind of grasp on.
Okay, I don't know that I understand what question you have. So basically, let me explain. And if we're still not connecting, maybe someone could step up and volunteer to clarify. So what I did was create this chart right here. And the only thing you need to fill in the blanks is this PDF. And this PDF has everything you need in it. It has all like the elements, tattvas, its qualities, fixed, cardinal, all that. You have exaltation, debilitation. You have all the bhava karakas, you know, the house significators, and you have house types here. You have the digbala here, and then you have, you know, whether it's, you know, the 4 aims, basically. It's just called 4 elements, but it's the 4 aims.
So this is the 4 bhavas?
So this is for a bhava condition that we're doing today, and this PDF is for us to use as a sort of cheat notes. I mean, I'm hoping everybody had already memorized all these, but that's a long shot because even I have to refer to, you know, my cheat notes. But so I did this. Yeah,
I thought there was an easier way for us to take and look at it quicker.
No, there's no easy way to do it. This is it. I mean, you might want to print this PDF out and then you have it all laid out on your desk. But there isn't any place that I know online or on a Parashva's Light or anywhere that you'd be able to get this, because I just spent forever cutting and pasting and creating this file. This is quite special.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All right. Thank you, Karyn.
You're welcome. So if everybody would open this up and keep it on your desktop for reference as we fill out this chart. And if you want to print it, that's fine too. Whatever you need to do to make room on your screen. So I'm going to just stick it down here in the corner, and we're going to look at Mary's chart, and we're going to look for the house lord. So what I'd like to do is have people raise, well, I might just ask people if that's okay. Instead of raising hands, I'm just going to ask people. So the house lord, this is going to help us get familiar with terminology as well as how to analyze the houses. Does, Abby, you want to tell me the house lord? We're going to do the first house. So this is house 1. Who is the house lord?
So that would be Jupiter.
Correct. So let's all put JU in house lord. Then we're going to go still in the first house. Gauri, do you want to tell me if there are any grahas associated with this this bhava? Doesn't mean aspecting, it means association. In other words, are there any grahas in the first house? It's a very simple question. I don't know if you're with us, Gauri. She left. Let me see.
I'm with you. My speaker was off. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I don't leave it. I'm sorry. I had to flip. Okay. So you want to know if there's any planets in the first house?
Right. There's, yeah, just to go, you know, it's so simple of a question, but.
No, there's no planets in the first house. The ascendant is there.
Okay. So there's going to be, how we're doing this chart altogether is a 0. And then the aspects, can anyone tell me, why don't we get, Renee, can you tell me which grahas might aspect the first house, including special aspects? And you know, Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter do special aspect, and the rest of them do 1-7. Anything aspecting, Renee?
Mars doesn't. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jupiter doesn't. Rahu doesn't. And Saturn doesn't.
Correct. So there's 0 aspecting into this first house. Okay, so let's find out the karaka, the house karaka. How would we do that? We would pull up our little chart here, and we're going to go to karaka, right? And here's the bhava karaka, and we look in the first house, and we know that the sun is the karaka for this house. So let's put sun right here. Okay, so that's the bhava karaka. Let me just get that centered. And then is the first house any exaltations in the first house? Janie, do you see any exaltations in the first house?
I'm looking. Jupiter.
No, there's no planets, no grahas in the first house. So there's really nothing that could be exalted or debilitated. But it's a good thing we're doing this, just making
I'm
sure
thinking of aspects. I'm sorry.
that's no worries. So we're going to go to the third house soon, and there are 2 grahas sitting there. So this section will apply, but we're just going to go through it anyways, just to make sure everybody's awake. So we got the exaltation is a 0. Debilitation is a 0 because there's no planets there. And then is it a fixed bhava? So when we need to figure that out, we go to this little thing that I made, this little PDF, and let's go to qualities. So we know that the first house basically is a cardinal house. So we're going to say cardinal, check. Okay, so, I didn't mean to do that. So check for cardinal, and we're going to put 0 in and 0 immutable. And now the elements. The elements are right here, the tattvas. So could someone tell me, Mary, what is the element in the first house?
Fire.
Fire. So let's do that. Element is fire. And then we're going to go to the next section. If I could spread it. Is there anything Digbala? Abby?
I don't think so.
Nope, because there is no planet in that house. So we're just going to keep doing 0, 0, 0 until we get to really exciting houses with lots of grahas. And then the types. So the type and the 4 aims. Okay, so the type, we have to pull up our chart again. We go to types. Where's types? Here it is. So Gowrie, can you tell me the type of house the first house is?
It's a Kendra and a Tricona.
Excellent. So we're going to put in Kendra / Tricona. And I'm going to just shrink this down to a 10 or even a smaller, like an 8. Okay, and then the 4 aims. Can someone tell me of the 4 aims? Does anyone not know what the 4 aims are? Right here. It doesn't say aims per se. I should probably write that in. 4 aims up here. But, it's kama, moksha, dharma. This first house, always any first house, this is a dharma house. So let's just say dharma. All first houses are dharma houses. Let's go to 9, putting a 9. Well, make it smaller. Okay. Yeah, we need to fix this. Like, I just can't figure out how to pull. Oh, that's moving. See, I was trying to move it earlier today. I couldn't get these to move. See how I'm struggling with getting all of it to move?
Karen, if you have that cell highlighted and you go on the top of your screen, instead of having the text centered, if you have it where it's left justified, it'll show you more. You'll be able to see more of the word. So over next to, you have your bold italicized up on the top of your spreadsheet. And if you keep working your way from left to right, you'll see the left justified.
This one?
Yep, go, exactly. That should, but you have to have your little cells highlighted, yes.
Justified. And then
go to there, align text to the right. That should help you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I just think it's too many words in that little box, but we'll figure it out. At least we're making some progress. I'm going to make these all smaller. We can see what we're doing. It may not be perfect, but it serves the purpose. Let's go to the second house now. And we have a Lord of the house. Who is the Lord of the second house? Could you tell me, Janie?
Capricorn?
Capricorn is the sign, but the sign is not the Lord. Who owns that real estate, Capricorn in the sky?
Taurus?
Capricorn is owned by one of the grahas, one of the people. Planets or people.
Saturn.
Yeah. So who is the owner of Capricorn?
Saturn.
You've got it. Saturn. Okay.
I
And
didn't
now,
look at notes.
what'd you say?
I did not look at notes.
Woohoo! That's great. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, to memorize these things is a big deal. Okay, Graha association. There are no planets in the second house. Let's just go 0. Are there any planets aspecting the second house?
You're welcome.
Could you tell me, Abby, if there are any planets, even the special aspects of Mars, Saturn, and Jupiter?
Okay, so not Mars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not Mars. Not Saturn. I don't think there's. Oh, maybe Jupiter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Jupiter.
You got it, Jupiter. Good job. Now we have the Karaka, so let's find out what the Karaka of the second house is. Renee, can you tell me?
Regular aspect though?
What'd you say?
Don't we have a 7 aspect though?
Oh, yes, we do. Thank you for pointing that out. So,
Mars. True. Oh, wait, no.
No, there's no 7th. I thought something was in the 8th house. There isn't any 7th.
K2.
Okay, but we're not going to do K2 aspects, even though so many, like Joni and...
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about Saturn. I apologize.
No worries. I wish I could do the nodal aspects. Eventually, I might run another like level 1 or 2 with nodal aspects, and we might digress from heart's belief. But heart doesn't really give the nodes any power to aspect. So whether he's right or wrong, I'm just following his tradition in this first week introduction so that we start to understand, you know, what his is, and then be able to compare it against, say, who's that guy, Sam Gepi, or some of the other people out there. Krishnamurti, that guy, he really loved the nodes, used them all the time. You know, counted them backwards, and so there's so many people that use the nodes. And Joni Patry, it's not to say anyone's wrong or right, but we're just going to stick with one system for this particular class. Okay, so we're going to figure out what is the Karaka for the second house. Could you tell me that? Let's see. Candy, are you there? Can you tell me the Karaka for the second house, Candy? I don't know if she went for a cup of tea. I'll unmute you. Candy left.
Karyn, I can answer that.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
Oh, it's right there. It says Jupiter.
Jupiter. Jupiter is written in. It's the Karaka for second house. Now, exalted. Is there anything in that second house to be exalted? No. So we're just going to do 0. The house is empty. Is there anything in there to be debilitated? No. Is it a fixed? Is it a fixed house? So, excuse me. Generally, let's look at that. Where did that go? Fixed. It is a fixed house, so let's say yes, it's fixed. Check. And it's not cardinal, it's not mutable. Now, we're not taking into condition if the Lord of the actual sign itself. Maybe I should have added one more spot. Maybe I will do that later. another time to actually look at the house sign. That might be actually really good. Maybe if I could do that here. I just don't know how to do that. I couldn't fit one more line in here. So maybe we could do, we'll just talk about it. How about that? We just won't be able to fit it in the chart. And if somebody feels like taking on this chart for me and sending me a better chart that we could work with, oh my God, I'd love that. Let's go to 9. Okay, so it's a fixed house, always, the second house. But let's just look at the Lord of, the sign of that house. This sign is Aquarius, right? A Capricorn. So now we're going to go to look at Capricorn. Well, Capricorn owns this. So we know Capricorn is a cardinal Achara Rashi. So we could have another section. Maybe we could fit it. I don't know where we would fit it. I don't know.
Fit it, because it needs to be fitted.
Yeah, it does. It's such an important thing to do these. I'm not sure how to fit this in, so I might just do like a red check, meaning the red is going to be the sign. So why don't we do that? So the second house, red check, it's cardinal, red check, meaning that refers to that it's an actual sign. The sign of the house is cardinal. Okay, so then we go on to the element of that house. The element, pulling up all these charts was a lot of work. Let's see, element, move this over. Second house is earth, so let's write in earth. And is there anything in this house to be Digbala? No, it's an empty house. So a house itself can't be Digbala. It's the planet. Directional strength is always referred to regarding the planet. And now we look at the type of house that the second house is. So can anyone volunteer? The second house, what kind of a type of house it is?
Marika?
Yes, thank you, Marika. Which means it's a death indicator. In general, not, we can get more specific, but 8, okay. So 4 aims, let's look at, is it moksha, kama? What is it? Anyone?
It's
Candy, are you there yet?
I'm here. It's Artha.
Earth.
It's an Arta house, right. Arta, okay. Let's go make that font 8. Okay, so now we've finished this house 2. Ooh, what did I just do? Shoot. Okay, now let's just get all of this so that it's all, I'm gonna just highlight all this so that it just is 8. This is where I need a computer geek to help me with all this stuff. Okay, saving this. Okay, going to the third house. Let's look at Mary's chart. Let's analyze her third house. It's a busy house. And Molly, can you tell me the house Lord?
Okay, I don't memorize anything. Sorry. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 is 11. 11 is Aquarius, so the Lord is Saturn.
Excellent, Saturn. And Renee, can you tell me the grahas associated?
I don't remember what chart that was.
So,
I know it. Wa.
Well, the grahas associated.
Oh, the one that's in there, Moon.
Moon and Saturn are the grahas associated with the third house. So it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Nothing tricky about that. Let's just get that again to be an 8. And then we have Graha aspects. So Candy, do you feel like doing the aspects for the third house? Does Mars aspect in, or Jupiter, or well, Saturn's in there. So want to count that out?
Sure.
Don't forget the 1-7 connection.
Okay. Well, there's nothing at 7, correct?
There's, what do you mean nothing on 7?
I mean, there's nothing. So, all right, hold on.
So basically, we have 3 planets that have special aspects. And then we always have every planet aspecting 7 away.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So any planet that looks in, can you tell me which ones do aspect into the third house?
Mars.
Mm-hmm. Mars is one. Let's see, Mars. And anything else?
Let's see, Jupiter is 5 and 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't think so.
No, nothing else does. You're right. So it's just Mars. Thank you. And how about Karaka? Gowrie, do you want to tell me the Karaka of this third house?
Mars.
Question. What about Saturn? Wouldn't Saturn aspect since it's one aspect of it's in it?
No. It's counting as Lord. So we got that already covered as the Lord. So we're taking into consideration Saturn as the Lord and the Graha association. So we don't need to say that this will be the third time we're entering Saturn when it's already been entered twice and it's already there. So it's not really aspecting itself. That's a good question. So yeah, Karaka for the third house is
Mars.
Good job. Okay, can anyone tell me, let's just say, Abby, check out debilitation, exaltation for Saturn and Moon. Can you tell me if Saturn or Moon are either exalted or debilitated in the third house?
So Saturn is exalted, right? Because it's 11.
No. It's Swa.
Or it's Swa. Sorry, it's Swa. Yeah. Because it's in its own sign. Okay. So, but it's not exalted, so we don't write down Swa. And then debilitation, I don't know. Is Moon debilitated in Saturn? Don't think so.
No, there's no debilitation there and no exaltation.
Okay.
I'm going to put a little note here that we need another column for Swa. And what was the other one that was a red mark? It was, oh yeah, the Rashi cardinal fixed type. Okay, more. Those are the two we have to add in. I have to figure out, maybe I could do this on Excel. That's what I should have done. I should have gone right to Excel to create all these tables. Okay, well here we are. We're in it already. It's a Word document. We're just gonna go with it. So 0 exaltation, 0 debilitation, and the third house in general, is it a fixed house? Is it a Chara house? It's a mutable house. And this really comes in handy. I always wondered, is this really going to help me to know these things, whether it's mutable or fixed, and like, how is this going to serve me? And it serves me with prashna. So if I ask a question in the moment and, say it's a question of like, will Johnny marry Susie, right? And they're dating. And let's say he's sort of stubborn, doesn't want to take the next step in a relationship. If we ask this question, will Johnny marry Susie, and we get a fixed first house or a fixed 7th house, because it go to the marriage house for a marriage question. If it's a fixed 7th house, particular 7th sign, I'll say the Rashi, but we also take into consideration the house. take into many considerations. But that fixedness will tell me probably not. The guy's stubborn. If we found a Chara Rashi in the first house, the Lagna, or in the 7th, then the Chara Rashi would tell me, ooh, it's immutable. He might change his mind. Does that help you all? I hope that helps you understand, because sometimes when I'm given information that's just like concepts and theory and I have no place to put it in my mind, like, how is this serving me? I kind of let it go in the back and then I forget about it. I want you to put it in the front of your mind, knowing that this can give you good answers on asking questions in a prashna. Really big, I mean, other things too, but this is where I use it mostly. Okay, so moving on, we will go to the actual Rashi of the 3rd house, which is Aquarius. And Candy, can you tell me if Aquarius is fixed, mutable, or cardinal?
Probably not very quickly if it's not in this little packet you gave us.
Well, it's right here. No, right here.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Mutable.
No, so if you go here, you see, go to the 11th sign, because we're going to the signs. This is, we just did mutable, so we checked it. Now we're going to do a red check for the sign, for the Rashi. So,
I'm lost on that.
Oh, okay, then I'm glad that we did this. So I'll make it more clear. So this would be I'll say, if I say Rashi, am I losing anyone? You know the Sanskrit term for Rashi is translated into the word sign or constellation.
Okay.
Like Sagittarius, Aquarius, Gemini, those are signs, and the houses are separate and the planets are separate. So if I say Rashi here, will I lose anyone, or do you want me to just put the word?
Rashi's okay.
Rashi's okay. All right, good. So Rashi is red.
Okay.
I'm gonna just fix it over here. There we go. And now we know that since we looked at this chart over here and found the 11th sign of the zodiac is fixed, we're also going to give this a fixed.
I guess my question is, how did we end up over there when we were working on the third house?
Okay, good question.
That's where I'm losing.
Yeah.
Because the signs don't stay the same, correct? The signs are not the same in everybody's chart.
Exactly.
It's different.
It's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you looked at, so Mary has, I understand now.
Yes. There's a lot to take into consideration. So, you know, we're looking at things that are not necessarily just Mary, but we're also looking at things that are just Mary, as well as just the actual meanings of the houses and the basic static concepts and theory. And we're adding it into Mary's special, unique chart. So this is why I put it into this whole like table, because trying to teach all that is challenging and have it stay in your brain. So if we just start tracking it and write it all down, then we get a big picture of, oh my gosh, okay, this is the whole analysis of both the static version of a natural chart that does give rise to information that we can glean and interpretive meanings for Mary, as well as her unique chart blended into one chart. Does that make sense?
Yes. So that table, the qualities, I can't pronounce those words, but the one that's showing on the screen.
Yeah.
Those are the signs. Those are not the houses.
No, these are the houses.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the houses all are owned by.
Okay.
Yes. So you starting to follow it? Don't be afraid to ask questions, because I had the same questions years ago. I was so lost. But so I understand completely.
Keep going.
You're good.
Catch it. Yeah.
You're with me. Okay, good. I don't want to lose anyone. So we're going to go into cardinal. We'll just say 0. And we're going to say element. What's the element, the natural element of the third house? Pull up your chart, you see it's air. So let's put air here. Now this reminds me of something I did just because I was so overwhelmed with searching for an apartment. And this may sound like it's just, you know, an ADD distractible moment in my teaching, but it kind of is relevant here. I had so many things to weigh out when I was searching for an apartment in Newport of what was important to me before I could come to a conclusion on really what was the best apartment for me or what was really important to me. So I took this big, huge piece of paper and I got it at Staples and I made categories. I even taped 2 pieces together because it was that wide. And I made charts and I made top sections like I have here. And I wrote parking, laundry on the premises, walking to town, not walking to town. Utilities included, not included. What else did I do? 3 bedrooms or 2 bedrooms, because I knew I wasn't going to go with just 1 bedroom. So I was looking at 2 or 3. So that was a section. And then, well, you know where I'm going with this, is all the things in an apartment that mean something to you that would give you an answer for what you need. Otherwise, if you had 6 apartments that you're choosing from and you had to make a decision in 1 week, you need to have all that spread out because you can't remember, well, the apartment on Mary Street had, you know, 4 of the 8 things that I want, but the apartment on John Street had 7 of the 8 things I want, but that's, you know, I had to put like, well, the eighth one, the parking thing is just a deal breaker. So some of the things held more weight. So instead of trying to keep all that in my head, it had to go on paper so I could stand back and look at the chart and come up with what really was the answer. So when we make this chart, I'm hoping that you can have the same realization that, okay, these things are very significant. If we look at all of it, we can somehow come up with some kind of a interpretation from Mary, understand her, get her why she ticks, how she ticks, just a deeper understanding of Mary, so that when she asks a question as a client, she's going to come in and ask you 3 pressing questions, for example. You're going to have figured this out. You know, I'm not expecting you to do a chart like this for every client because it's very time consuming. Although I would expect Gary to do it because Gary spends hours doing these kind of documented charts. I don't know how you find that time, Gary. I don't think she sleeps, right? So this is something that is, you know, for those people who are very detail oriented and also who don't have a lot of room in their brain to try to get it all. And it's also for newbies, so that this is good practice to get familiar with how to find, you know, elements, exaltations, karakas, and put it all into one place. So I'm hoping this is going to be helpful for all of you. Okay, this was very helpful to me. So let's do Digbala. So does Saturn and Moon have Digbala, Janie? That means that this house would have Digbala.
Let me get back up here.
I'm giving you the cheat notes right there.
I can't see. You got so many things up here. I can't see nothing.
I know. I'm just going to come right out with it is not.
I can't even see Saturn. Sorry.
That's okay. We're looking at this chart right here. The 3rd house is empty, which means there's 0 Digbala for the 3rd house. 3rd house does not get any directional strength.
Absolutely. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't see it.
No worries.
Maybe we need to emphasize that Digbala is the houses would be the fire, water, air, and earth signs, which would be house 1, 4,
7, and 10.
Yeah, they're the Digbala only goes in the Kendra, the diamond.
I could not see it on my charting here where Saturn was. I was looking for it and I couldn't even find Saturn. But no, not
okay.
Digbala.
You know, it might be a good idea because there's so much stuff on my screen for teaching purposes. Maybe you could screenshot. Do you all know how to do a screenshot of Mary's chart?
No.
So then you could always have the chart in front of you.
I can tell you guys how to screenshot quick. It's super easy. If you do Shift Command 4, I don't know if it'll work on a PC, but at least in Mac, Shift Command 4, and then you'll see that you have like a little cross sign. So plant it down and then drag it. You should see that you're like highlighting something.
But I don't. I have Windows, and that's my.
Yeah, it might not work for Windows.
I think that's what's been going on all this time. But I found it. No, you're not Digbala.
Yeah, no Digbala in the Trikona and all those. Anything that's not in the Kendra will never be Digbala. So what I think we'll do, just to make this session a little easier, I didn't think to do this before because I wasn't sure really whose chart I was going to use. And I like to use my students' charts because it just gives us a chance to get to know each other better. And it's a free, free reading, basically. You get to just have more self-discovery. So let's just do a quick email so you can all have this. I'll send it.
For anyone who has Windows, there's a little Windows icon on the bottom of your keyboard. Most of the newer Windows, about 10 years ago, started having it. You push the Windows icon, and on the top right side, you'll see PRT, SR, or SC. It means print screen. So you push the Windows icon and the print screen, and it'll take a picture for you. And it holds it in a file called screenshots underneath pictures in your list of things that you have on your desktop.
Thank you.
That's so cool. Thank you so much, Molly G.
Molly G, thank you. Now I'm going to have my husband do that. Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Sorry, you know that. If I touch these things, I break them.
Molly's a computer expert, so we're just lucky to have her in class.
You are an expert, Molly G. Thank you. If I do this stuff, I mess them up.
I just sent everything to you in an email, so now you even have Mary's chart. So you don't even have to do that screenshot, but it's really good information to have that screenshot, how to do that. Okay, where did that go? There, okay. Now we're working on the type of house is the third house. What type of house is that? Let's get, Molly, can you tell us the type of house? The third house is?
Upachaya.
The Dushtana and Upachaya. Yes, so let's put that in there. Dushtana. This is never going to fit, but Upachaya. Okay, I squeezed it in, and so we kind of know what that is. The four aims. Can someone tell me, Renee G, the four aims? What is the third house regarding the four aims?
Isn't it comma?
So here's the chart. Everyone can pull it up. It is a comma house. Yeah,
It's comma error.
it is a comma house.
Comma chameleon.
Comma. And this is going to be interesting because when we do the career pointer, which we're going to get to tonight, which is really cool, it's Hart Defoe's career pointer formula. The comma houses are going to be extremely important in this particular chart that I'm going to show you. And it's a famous person, and I'd like you to guess who this person is. It's going to be fun. So we're almost through this part. This part's kind of the nitty gritty, but it's very, very helpful. At least I think, for me, this was helpful. Let me just get this to line up, like Mary said. Thank you for that little tip, Mary. And now we're looking at the fourth house, which is even busier than the third house. Gowrie, who's the house lord?
For the third house, it's
Fourth.
Oh, okay. Jupiter.
fourth house is
Oh, wait a minute. We started with Jupiter. Yeah, after that, Aries
That's
is Jupiter.
You're right. It's Jupiter.
Karen,
Yes.
this is Candy.
Hi.
I don't know how you're finding that, the house lord.
Oh, good. I'm glad you asked me
I
because
missed
you go,
something. I keep going all through my notes here. I don't.
this is good that you stopped me because this is where you don't want to get lost because this is important.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're,
I wasn't looking at it like that. Okay.
yeah.
Never mind. I know now.
You know now. Yeah. So we go house lord right to
Yeah,
the Rashi.
I have the list, but I didn't realize we were doing it by the we're doing it the same way we did it before when we were looking at the planets.
Yeah. This is just like Graha conditions,
Okay.
but we're doing Bava conditions.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
You are so welcome. So associations in this Bava, what do we have for planets? It's so easy. Venus, we have Sun, and we have Mercury. And let's try, Mary, can you give me, do you feel like counting the aspects? What aspects into the fourth house?
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Does anything, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I don't think there's any. Sorry. I'm not.
Wait, there is one. There is one.
Is it Mars that aspects?
Mars goes 8. So it goes, yeah. So 7, 8. So we'll put Mars in here as an aspect. I don't see any other aspects. So yeah, so that's it. We then go to the Karaka. So let's pull up the Karaka. And what is the Karaka for the 12th house?
Karaka.
And let's get Janie. Can you see the Karaka for the 12th house? There's 2.
Yeah, Saturn.
Nope. Pull up that PDF I gave you that says Bava conditions and look right in this 4th house at the 2 people. I call these planets people.
Moon and Mercury?
Yeah, and that's moon and brother. So mother and brother. Moon and moon represents mother, Mercury represents brother. So we're just saying moon and Mercury are the Karakas. Moon, Mercury. Let's give it a 8 font and go to exaltations. Is anything exalted here? Abby, is something exciting here that might be exalted?
Let's see.
And don't laugh, Molly.
Is it Venus?
Yes.
Got a good Venus. Okay, so the Venus is exalted. Sun and Mercury are not. And then nothing is, I don't think anything is debilitated.
Yes, there is.
Oh, something is.
This.
Let's see. Is the sun debilitated?
No.
So Mercury is. I didn't realize that Mercury is debilitated and.
Mercury's debilitated.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know it receives something called Nichabanga, and that means it's in the Kendra. So well, it's all right, not so bad. Softens it up a little bit, and it's owned by Jupiter, which gives it even a little bit more of a, good little. Some more juju, good juju. Okay, moving into fixed, cardinal, and mutable. So the 4th house, what is the 4th house as far as fixed, mutable?
Cardinal.
Cardinal.
Oh.
So where did that chart go? So is everyone with me on this chart thing? I want you all to be able to reference this. So cardinal, these are important too when you're calculating Navamsha. You need to know these things because you cannot calculate a Navamsha divisional chart without knowing what signs are cardinal. Okay, so then we do check. And now we're going to look at the Rashi. Is the Rashi fixed, cardinal, or mutable? Molly, can you tell me if it's fixed, cardinal, or mutable? This would be the Rashi. This is Pisces.
Mistake.
Is that correct?
Mutable. Excellent. So the sign of Pisces is mutable. Okay, and then we're going to look at the elements. So, Candy, can you tell me the element of the 4th house?
It is water.
Water, because water is so emotional. The 4th house is a very emotional house governed by mother and moon. So let's just get this to be 8. And then we are in the Kendra, so Digbala can apply here. So Abby, do you want to tell me if there's anything Digbala in the 4th house?
Waiting for the little diagram. We don't. Oh, Venus. Yeah.
Yes. So wow, an exalted and a Digbala Venus.
Yeah, that's a really good Venus.
Yeah, Mary, we're loving your Venus. We're jealous. We want your Venus. Okay, let's get that. Where did we put that? 0, Digbala is a check. Okay. Check for that. Look at that. Okay, so
We should put
types.
Venus in there. We should just type Venus in there.
We should. We should just
Checking it, especially since it's,
there.
exalted too.
Yeah, it's such a great planet for Mary. I'm gonna do both. That was a good idea. Let's just put anything that's Digbala, I'll write it out so it gets more credibility. Okay, so the type of the house. Gary, do you want to tell me what type that the 4th house is?
It's the 4th house is a moksha house. Where are you on this thing? Where do you want me to be?
It's a
Kendra. It's
so it's one of
Kendra.
the Kendras.
And it's moksha, so I don't know. I don't know which one you're asking for, what type.
I
You
know.
just want
So
Kendra?
the 4 aims.
Kendra.
And it is also moksha in the 4 aims. So we'll do moksha. There should be other words for this, but I don't know. There's no real, but I know.
Water.
No, you know how we have tattvas, the elements? That chart that's easy to understand. Exaltation, debilitation chart, we can all understand and know what we're talking about. When we're talking about types, I tried to find it on the internet. There isn't any real, I couldn't find any Sanskrit name. So if anyone else can, to make this more easy, more clear, but so far so good. Okay, now we're going to the 5th house. The 5th house is the Lord. What can you tell me, Mary? What is the Lord of the 5th house?
The Lord of the 5th house is Mars.
Excellent. Mars. And Mary, are there any grahas associated?
No.
No, so we go 0. And Candy, can you tell me if there's anything aspecting the 5th house?
Let me see. There's nothing 7 away. Mars, no. Saturn, no, there's nothing.
Right here. Did you count this one?
Oh, one in. What is that one? Hold on. I gotta look at my notes. I keep flipping back and forth, so
There's a lot of flipping around in the
I'm
beginning.
never where I want to be.
Yeah.
Okay. So Saturn is 10 and 3. 1, 2, 3.
So if it's 3, does it aspect to the 5th house?
I thought we were counting
Inclusive. It's inclusive.
1, 2. Oh, okay. Yes.
There you go.
1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so it's good practice, isn't it? So now you know, learning how to count like this is really, really good practice. I'm really glad we're doing this so I can see where everybody's at and we can really get some practice on this. All these aspects are confusing and there's a lot to learn. So if we get it all on this chart, we can feel like we've wrapped our head around a lot. Okay, so now we're looking at the Karaka of the 5th house, the house of children. But that's not what I'm looking at right away. Let's go to the Karaka, 5th house. Gowrie, do you want to tell me the 5th house Karaka?
She stepped away for a minute. She said in the chat.
Oh, okay. Well, Abby, you can tell me 5th house Karaka.
So Jupiter?
Yes, Jupiter. And Jupiter also represents children. So the 5th house of children.
Karyn, what does Karaka mean?
It means significator.
Okay.
So I put house significator right here, and then I put Baba Karaka, which is what's translation.
Okay.
Yeah. So that 5th house of children, it's not just about children, but it's a lot about children, which is why Jupiter is the significator of it. Let's go to see if anything in there is exalted or debilitated. There is nothing in there, so let's just go 0 exaltation, 0 debilitation. Okay, Janie, can you tell me if the 5th house by nature is fixed, cardinal, or mutable? Looking at your notes. Janie, you with us?
Mutable. I say mutable.
Well, did you look right here? Did you look at this chart right here and count 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, no, I didn't look anything.
You just kind of pulled it out of your ear?
Yeah, I did. I mean, let me look. I can't get the other places up here. Well, if it's a fixed shaka, and we're working with Jupiter.
We're in the 5th house. So all you have to do is look at your qualities chart. If you get that PDF and look under qualities of the 5th house.
Then it is fixed.
You got it, girl. Okay, we're
Thank you.
making progress. Yes, you are welcome. Fixed. And now we're going to look at the Lord of the 5th house. I'm not the Lord, the sign of the 5th house. And I'd like to ask Candy, can you tell me, is that sign that owns the 5th house, is that mutable, cardinal, or fixed? And we can go right to this chart. You have it in your PDF.
Okay, hold on 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 1. 1 is Aries.
Yes. And what do you see in the Aries sign?
I see cardinal.
Mm-hmm. Excellent, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so it's an initiator. It's a changer. It changes up things.
Okay. So it's just a coincidence that the chart. What's messing me up is the chart. That chart. The numbers are the same as the numbers of the houses.
Yep.
And so that's why I keep thinking that we're talking about the house and not the sign.
That fouls me up too.
All right,
Yeah,
so I'm gonna make a big note there. That's what's messing me up.
Yeah, I understand, because that messes everybody up. Even I got messed up with that, especially
These are
ours in Aries.
signs, not houses.
Right. Yeah, but if we look at a natural chart, then that's going to be the same. Like an Aries person, like me, I'm an Aries person. And Abby, are you Aries? No, Abby's a Mercury. Who's Aries? Anyways, the Aries charts can really be challenging because you're, looking at a natural chart. You have to figure it out that this is not everybody has a natural chart, and that the signs actually move. In the beginning of learning Jyotish, that's what really screwed me up too. So I understand, and keep asking questions, and I think you're going to get this because you're noticing it. The first step to fixing something is being aware. Okay, so you're aware that that is what's going on. And we're looking at now the element of that house is, dun, 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 pull up your chart, and where are the elements? Well, this
Right there.
does show, yeah, there's an element right here. Janie, do you see what element belongs to the 5th house?
Dharma, fire.
Right, so let's put fire. And then we're gonna put, is it Digbala? Does it have Digbala?
No.
No, because it's not in the Kendra, so it couldn't possibly have Digbala. We're gonna just do a 0. And the type of house, what type of house is it? That's that thing that I couldn't find a better word for except house type.
Trikona.
It is a Trikona. Oh, you're on a roll. Janie, go.
Right. Hey, girl, you keep scrolling. I'll keep telling you. I still don't know what Trikona really means, but that's okay. I mean, it's bite. I know it's to bite, but I really don't know what that means. So we'll keep going.
Well, don't worry. At least you're knowing now. You're aware and knowing that. Well, the Trikona houses are very special, auspicious houses, and trick means triangle, so it forms a triangle.
Okay.
You see this triangle right here? Trick, trick, trick.
Thank you, because I was like, man, that's not a good. I don't like that. Okay.
No, it's good to know what things mean and kind of get a spatial awareness of it, and that they're auspicious. Those houses, Trikona houses, are very auspicious houses. So the Kendra is very auspicious too, but Trikonas have divine grace and.
Thank you, because
Yeah.
me, I was like, man, I don't want to be in that house.
No, you just don't want to be in a Dushtan house or even the Marika. I don't like the Marika houses very much myself. I haven't had a lot of luck. The Trikona and the Kendra houses are our favorite houses that give favorable results.
Okay, well, thank you, because you kind of just grazed over that, and I didn't.
We had a class on it. We went over on.
I did. I was there, but I kind of like. I really don't get the real depth of what these words mean. But now,
That's okay. You're getting it.
Yeah, I think that's good that you're doing that. Thank you, Karyn.
You're so welcome. Now we're going to do the 4 aims of the 5th house. So, Gowrie, are you there yet? Or Renee? Let's just get Renee because Gowrie might be on a break. Renee G, can you tell me what is the 5th house regarding, is it Artha, Kama, Dharma? Did you leave too? Are you there? I think she may have left. Renee left too.
It's Dharma. Let's go on.
All right, thanks, Janie. Dharma is the answer. Okay, we got a font 8, and it's all fitting in somehow, one way or another. Good. Now we are moving on to the 6th house, which looks kind of busy there with Jupiter and Rahu. Who wants to tell me the Lord of the 6th house? Oh, Gowrie's back. Gowrie, what's the Lord of the 6th house?
It's Taurus. It's the Lord is Venus.
Venus. Excellent. And then Abby, what grahas are associated with the 6th house?
So we have Jupiter and Rahu.
Right. So Jupiter, Rahu. And Mary, what grahas are aspecting? This is the hardest part of the whole thing.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3.
I can't even read that.
So 3 is, what is it?
So we have special aspects of Mars and Saturn and Jupiter, but Jupiter's not going to do its own special aspect because it's already in there.
1 and 7.
It does a 1 and 7 aspect too, but
So-
it does a 7 aspect, not a 1 aspect.
But we're not using the nodes, so K2
No.
is
No nodes, just check out Saturn, check out Mars, check out what's 7 away. No nodes are involved.
so Saturn is Saturn 4? 1, 2, 3,
Saturn's 3 and 10.
3 and 10. Okay, so it's not Saturn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't think there are any, I don't see any aspects.
Correct. There are no aspects, 0. And then the Karaka. Renee, are you back yet? Renee G? I guess not. Okay, Abby, can you tell me the Karaka of the 6th house? You have your chart.
Yeah, just a second. Sorry, I have like so many different little windows.
I opened it for you. In case you
Oh, it's there. Okay, of the 6th house. So Mars and Saturn.
Mars and Saturn. You know, when Mars and Saturn are conjunct in a tight orb in the sky in general, it's a sign that our whole world, somewhere in our world, could go to war. It's Mars and Saturn conjunct is a warrior sign. It's a sign of war. Let's leave it like that. Mars.
Karyn, I have a quick question about that then. So is that in part why like the 6th house is about enemies and worries then? Is that kind of the connection? Okay.
That's where I was going with it. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes. 6th house is about litigation, enemies, fighting. Yeah, not so much fun.
But at the same time, in the original zodiac, house 6 is the house of health.
Yes,
And
alternative
it's ruled
house.
by Mercury, and it's Digbala, and if you are born a Virgo and you have Gemini on your ascendant, it's like extreme brilliance.
Say that again. I think we missed that.
If you're born a Virgo and the ruling planet is Mercury, that would that would imply extreme intelligence especially with that placement.
You mean Mercury in the 4th house or the 6th house?
It would be your 1st house ascendant. You're a Virgo and
your Mercury falls in the 6th house. Is that what you're saying?
no. Anyway, the original 6th house is ruled by Mercury. If your Lagna is Gemini, and it's also, obviously that's your ascendant, and you have Mercury sitting there, your ruling planet, but you are a Virgo if that's your ascendant, and it not only is it in the 1st house, it has Digbala because it is actually, it's more powerful in Virgo than it is in Gemini.
I see what you're saying. Yes. Well, that's sort of advanced thinking. You might have lost some of us.
No, I'm sorry, but it is actually, since it's a different language, it can be very difficult to articulate.
Yes, but I'm with you on it, and don't if anyone gets confused, it's too much probably for this class, but it is brilliant. It's a great way to determine whether you are reading the chart of a Einstein or like a famous lawyer would have that kind of an alignment.
I guess I just threw that out there because even though the 6th house does mean all that, and you have a good point, it could also be an attorney. There's other things besides enemies and illnesses. We have to look at how all the planets are influencing a house before we think, oh, the 6th house is a Dhisthana, so therefore, and a trick house, there's going to be all these other, I'm just trying to pull in the whole picture.
Yes, thank you for shining some light on that poor little 6th house that gets sort of a bad rap.
Interesting too, Karyn, with the Karaka being the Mars and Saturn, which is also like father, but at the end of his life, my father was an attorney, so I thought that's kind of.
Oh, that's very cool. Your father, though, I lost that. Where you connected that?
Because isn't like Shani sometimes the father?
Yeah, it's an authority figure. Yep, and father can be. Son is more likely the classic Karaka for father, but Saturn can be too, the great teacher, the male authority figure. Could be a female too, but Yeah, so your father was a lawyer?
Yep, at the end of his life. So
Interesting. Very
Anyway.
cool. Okay, I have to look more deeply at how that happened. Looking at your father, I'm sure Gowry's brain's just going a million miles a minute looking at father.
I'm looking at the nakshatras.
Right. Okay, I can't go there because I'll get lost in the chart. Okay, so let's go to exaltations of the 6th house. I'm going to ask Molly, is there any planet in the 6th house exalted?
I am so sorry. I was doing and filling in the rest of the chart. So you're asking about the 6th house, anything exalted. 6th house, nothing is exalted, but Rahu is debilitated. You want me to tell you the rest? I'm ready.
You've got the chart filled out, don't you?
Most of it, but I have number 6 all filled out, and then I'm thinking of ways to improve this chart because there are, like the house lord, it always follows, the types are always the same, the 4 aims are always the same, the element are always the same. I think if we fill those in first, the Baba Karaka, house significator are always the same. So if you go through and you fill those in first, then each chart you can go in and fill out for each specific human.
I love that idea. That's more systematic. I think we need to rearrange this chart. Okay. Oh, thank you, Molly. Maybe we can do that. If you have time and you want to play with it, I might play with it too. I want to add Swa, the Swa and the Rashi type. So instead of having to do the red Rashi thing, we could have give it its own thing. Okay, so its own place. Moving into exalted, there is no exaltation, so that's 0. And Molly, what did you say about the debilitation? Did you give us that when I didn't hear you?
Number 6, house 6, I found debilitated Rahu.
Okay, so debilitated Rahu. And now we have, is it fixed? Let's go to Molly. Renee. What's going on with the houses? Is the 6th house fixed or cardinal or mutable? Or did Renee leave?
No, I'm here. I just got some water and yogurt before.
Okay, yogurt.
So
Yogurt sounds good.
I think it's mutable.
Okay, so we're looking at the 6th house. Did you go to the chart?
Yeah, I'm following your charts because I'm on a little Chromebook.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's 1 up.
So this is the chart we're using to determine whether it's mutable or not. So just so everybody's with me, that is mutable. So let's do a check over there. And do you want to, while you're with us, Renee, you want to do the sign? Is the sign mutable? Oops.
It's fixed.
The sign is fixed.
So Taurus is fixed.
Yes, Taurus is fixed. So let's do a red mark there. And there's nothing cardinal about that house. Thank you, Renee. Let's go to Candy and let's get the element of the 6th house. Can you tell me?
He stepped away, so I can answer since.
Okay, yeah, what's the element?
I could pretend I can answer.
I'll help you pull it up.
Okay. So it's
I love you, girl.
it's gonna be Earth.
Earth. You got it. Earth is the answer. Okay, we're moving on. Thank you very much for that, Renee G. And now, is there anything Digbala about the 6th house? I'm just going to say no, because 6th house has never Digbala. There's no real directional strength in the 6th house, only in the Kendra. And now we're going to go to the type of house it is. So,
Can I ask why, if it's Kendra, that it would be Digbala?
well, that's kind of like asking why the sky is blue. It is just that way. See, this is
Just so we know.
See this?
Because it's above is below, right?
You see this? This chart has the Kendra. All the planets are in there, they represent directions.
So
So
if I was going to say it says below, above as below.
I don't know about that, what that means.
Well, if you're you got it to the top, you got it to the bottom. And you got it to one side and the other side, but you're not going to get anything outside of those triangles.
Yeah, we're not going outside this diamond for Digbala ever, because these are the
Thank you.
directions. Yes, you're welcome. If you get confused, think of the 4 directions. You know, it's like asking me, why are there only 4 directions? There should be 6 directions, and they should make up something north, south, east, west, north, south, east, west, and then something else and something else. You know what I mean?
Just so you know, if you went into anything more as far as, like, I'm sure you've done it, any of the Reiki or any of the spiritual attunements, you would do all directions. You would do in, out. Well, even with our own Ayurvedics, you go in, out, above, below. I mean, you go many directions besides 4. So
Right.
that's why I asked that.
Okay, I understand your question. This is just talking about traditional basic stuff. So we're just going for the 4 directions, and the 4 directions tell us Sun, and Mars are happy in south, and the Saturn is happy in west, and the Jupiter and Mercury are happy in the east, and Moon and Venus are quite happy in the north. Does that make sense?
They never change, right?
No, that's static.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes, these are good questions, and now you can start understanding these things. They're not just random. Okay, good. So let's go to the type. The type of house that the 6th house is. What is the type of house? Anyone know? Now, Molly, you've got it down. What do you think?
Sorry, it always takes me 100 years. Okay, I was looking down at the 12th house. You're asking me what type of house is 6. It is Upachaya, Trick, and Dishtana. So it's going to get better, but it's kind of tricky, and it's kind of unfavorable.
I'm looking at Artha. Okay.
We're filling out this part here.
So you're doing aims, you're doing house. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's Upaya. It's Trick.
Which means it improves over time.
Yes.
A lot of surgeons and lawyers in that house, if their dharma is meant to be in that house, you'll see it.
It's always a good thing to tell somebody if their lagna falls in that house. You say, listen, it's okay. Your lagna falls in the 6th house because it's going to get better over time. Otherwise, it's sort of devastating to have a lagna fall in this, and worse to have it fall in the 12th house, because that can indicate a curse, as we learned last week. Okay, so not to get caught up in all the doom and gloom, let's figure out the 4 aims. What are the 4 aims? Let's just look at that for the 6th house. Abby, what is the 6th house for the 4 aims?
Artha. It's Artha. Is that how it's pronounced, or am I saying that wrong?
That's right, Artha.
Okay.
They don't say the H. Yeah. Okay, let's make that size 8 so it all fits. And squish it over there. Okay. Moving on to the 7th house. What's the Lord of the 7th house, Candy? Can you tell me the Lord?
I can once you let me see the chart.
Yeah, I sent it over on an email so that.
Oh, my husband's on the computer trying to fix something.
Okay.
On the laptop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you tell me what the number is? Because I can't see it.
3.
Okay. Mercury.
Excellent. You are getting this. I'm so happy. Mercury. Yes. Woohoo! Okay, now we have the Graha Association. There are no planets in the 7th house. So we're going to do 0. And let's get Candy, actually. Well, no, let's not. Let's get Mary. Mary, would you count the special aspects for me?
Yes. So 1, 2, 3. So my 4th house looks in, right? Is it 3? Which one has the 3?
No, the 4th house doesn't look in because
Okay.
7 away. Go.
1, 2, 3, 4. So Saturn looks in, right? Because he's 4. No. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I'm looking at something else. Sorry.
No worries.
3, 4. Okay. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No. I don't see anybody looking in.
That's right. Nobody is looking in. 0. Good job. Now we have Karaka.
Okay.
Abby, will you tell me the Karaka of the 7th house?
Yes, Venus.
Excellent. House of marriage. Love. And is there anything exalted in there? No, because there's nothing in there. 0. 0, debilitation. Okay, Molly, can you tell me if it's fixed?
Okay, this is house 7.
Mhm.
So 7th house is cardinum, but her house 7 has Gemini as the Rashi, and Gemini is mutable. Yes?
Okay, yeah, so Gemini is mutable, so let's give it Rashi, copy, where's mutable? There. Okay, and did you say it was fixed? I didn't look at it either myself. The 7th house, owned by Venus, it is fixed. Okay.
10th house is cardinal.
Oh, maybe it is. Oh, yes, Libra, that's right. Thank you. It is Libra. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Okay, so now we have 0 in cardinal, and going into the elements. What's the element of the 7th house? Abby, do you know?
Air.
Excellent. Air. Okay. Love is in the air. Think about that when you're thinking about the 7th house, because it's the love house, and love is in the air. Digbala. Does it have Digbala? Does it have a possibility of Digbala? Is it in the Kendra? Candy, can you tell me?
Hold on. The 7th house is in the Kendra.
It is. So it could have, there could be a Digbala component, but is
There's
there?
no planets in there, I thought.
No, there's nothing in there. Just make sure you're awake.
Okay.
0. And now we're going to go to the type of house. What type of house is it?
It is air, air. No, wait a minute.
It's right here.
Type is Kendra Makara.
Yes, Kendra and Marika. Kendra, Marika. Okay, excellent. Now we're going to look at the 4 aims and tell me, is it moksha, kama?
It's kama.
Kama. Love is kama. Okay, let's just get that to be an 8 font. Good job. Thank you, Candy. It seems like everyone's...
Good job, Candy.
You crack me up. Come out of nowhere.
Hey,
I
she
love you,
did
Jamie.
good. I was watching. She did damn good.
She did good. I just love you. Oh, you're lighting it up. Okay, let me just get this centered. Okay, let's go to the 7th house. Oh no, the 8th house. I'm going to make this a little bigger. Who wants to tell me the Lord of the 8th house?
I can't see it, so that's okay.
We can't see it.
Is
Oh.
it Cancer?
It's I sent it to you all in an email because this is such a pain to have such a small screen and be moving all this. Let's see if I can get it out. There it goes. Okay, so now we're looking at the 8th house, and it's empty, but it's owned by Cancer.
Mars.
Mars does not own Cancer.
Moon.
Oh,
Moon.
8th house.
Oh, sorry,
Nobody
moon.
owns. Well, that's the 4th house. Okay, I'm sorry.
You have a riot on your hands.
I'm sorry. I'm looking
It's okay. It's okay. We can make mistakes. So Moon is owned that owns the 8th house, and the grahas associated are 0. There's nothing in there. And the grahas aspecting, this is always the trickiest one. Candy, do you want to take it on?
I'm going to say Cancer.
No, what's aspecting? I'm getting the giggles. I'm going to stop. Okay, so what's aspecting? Candy, can you count that?
5, Saturn and the moon.
So Saturn goes 3, right? 3 and 10.
But it does 7 too, right?
And 7, yep. But
I counted wrong. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
I did too. I counted wrong.
That's okay.
Right, hold on then. Saturn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and Jupiter does 1 in.
Jupiter doesn't do 1 really.
No,
It's just 7. I mean, it's a 5 and 9, but it goes 7 too.
See, that's a different page in my book. Okay. Mars is 4 and 8. So where's Mars? Right there. Nope, Mars doesn't.
No, Mars doesn't.
Jupiter's 5 and 9. Jupiter 1, 2. 3. Nope.
Nope.
We're going to house 8. 8 house.
The 8th house has no aspect.
Nothing in it.
What?
Nothing in it.
Nothing in it and nothing aspecting it. That's what we're doing is the aspect. There's not one graha with drishti or can gaze in or aspect it, however you want to say it. There's nothing. It's just all by itself, kind of lonely, isolated, you'd call that an isolated house. Okay, so let's go to the karaka of the 8th. Karaka of the 8th is, moving on. Anyone want to take that on? Abby, do you want to do the karaka of the 8th? Saturn.
Thank you.
Yes, Saturn is one of the death planets, and it lines up with the 8th house of death. That's not all it is, but it is one of the death planets. Because it's the old age, you know, in Saturn it governs old age. Okay, so let's go to exalted debilitation 0, 0. 0, 0. Okay, Molly, do you want to give us whether it's fixed, cardinal, or muted?
Okay, we're on the 8th house. 8th house is number 4, ruled by the moon. That's Cancer. The house itself is fixed, but Cancer is cardinal.
Excellent. So let's put in fixed. Is that right? Yeah, and now we're going to do, oh wait, what did you just say?
It's just cardinal. That's water.
I just got a
Okay,
message.
you guys are confusing me now. Quit doing that.
So here it is. It's fixed. It's a fixed house. So
Yes.
let's get this out of here, and let's get that sign, that little check mark over here. So there it is. It's a fixed house, but the Lord, or the sign, I'll say the sign of that house, where did it go? It's the Cancer. So Cancer, we go
Water.
Cancer is water,
Okay.
but Cancer sits right here, number 4, and it's cardinal.
So so how do we mutate that as far as putting it into that house?
So the reason I went over here to look at this number 4 for the 8th house is because in the 8th house of Mary's chart, Cancer is the sign of her 8th house. See the 4 right here? I'm going in circles. So that's how we got to here. So we went over here and we got, oh, that's Cancer. So Cancer is cardinal, right? So there's a two-part question. First question is, what is the nature of the 8th house in anyone's chart? And it's fixed. What is the sign of her 8th house, Mary's? And that sign is a cardinal sign. See that?
Gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, these are really good questions. These are questions I wished I had the courage to ask in the beginning. I just went home and cried. And I just went.
I ain't crying. I just want to know.
I had to figure it out. I figured it out somehow, one way or the other. Okay, I had some friends to tell me, and I had some help along the way. Okay,
And
now
so
we have.
Thank you, Karyn. So do we.
Yes, you're so welcome. I want this to feel like you can ask questions because I was so intimidated and I was in an advanced class. I really didn't have the right to ask questions. Okay, so elements. Let's look at the elements. Abby, you do the elements for this one? What's the elements of the 8th house?
I think it would be moksha, water. Yeah, that makes
Water.
sense.
Excellent. Let's put water. 8th house is water. Get that font to be 8. And then the Digbala. It doesn't ever have Digbala because it's not in the Kendra. So let's get rid of that. 0. So 8 again. And then the type of house. How about Mary? Can you tell me the type of house is? What type is? It's quite a busy little house as far as the type. Could you tell me the types? This plural.
Yes, one moment. It's Trikona and Dushtana.
That means it has teeth, and it is a challenged house. Trick and Dushtana. Okay, great. Good job. And now we can look at the aims. Molly, what are the aim? Which one? It's a moksha house. I'll just give it out. There we go, Molly. You don't have to answer, I did it. Moksha. Just because I want to get onto that career pointer thing. It is so much fun. It's so helpful. People always come in, either they want to know what their career should be or when they're going to meet their next love, or is their husband cheating on them? Those are the questions I get. Oh, crazy world. Okay, so those are answers that I want to be able to give people, how to guide them with a career, how to tell them about when they'll meet their next love, and do they have luck in love, marriage, and do they, is their marriage going to last, or check out their relationship. Okay, moving on to the 9th house. We love the 9th house. It's one of those sweet houses that if your lagna falls into the 9th house, it means that you are extremely pure-hearted. Just because it doesn't mean you're not pure-hearted, though. It's a lot of saints have their lagna in the 9th. Moving on to, what's the Lord of the 9th? Gowrie, can you tell me? The Lord of the 9th?
Where are we? Okay, so the Lord of the 9th is Leo, is ruled by Sun.
Excellent. Thank you. And Abby, can you tell me what grahas are associated? We just don't have to do the outer planets, but.
Oh, just Mars then.
Mars. Excellent. And Renee, will you tell me the aspects to the 9th house?
Sun and moon, yeah. I mean, Saturn and
moon. Saturn and moon for sure. Anything else?
I'm checking.
That's enough.
That is quite enough.
I think that's it. Yeah, because, there's
That's
no
it.
special aspect by Jupiter, and Mars is there.
Yeah, Mars is there. So that's it. So let's put that in there. Now we can look at the karaka of the 9th house. What is the karaka? Abby, there are 2 karakas.
The Sun and Jupiter.
Yes, Sun and Jupiter. Good job. Now we're going to go into, is it exalted? Is Mars exalted in there? Janie, can you do exaltation and debilitation of the 9th house?
It's exalted by its ascendant.
Let me get the exaltation. Let me help you out. So if we go to our exaltation chart right here, let's look at, what do we have? 9th house. So we look at Mars sitting there. Forget Pluto and Uranus, just ignore that. I just like them in there because I like Pluto and Uranus. But for Jyotish reasons, they don't usually look at that. The outer planets don't so much matter. We're going to look at Mars, and we go to the Mars sign right here. We go across, and we see that it's exalted in Capricorn. Is it in Capricorn? Let's look at that.
I'm looking.
Is it in Capricorn?
Yes.
No, what's this right here?
Well, I'm looking at a Shumanchi chart.
What are you looking at?
Some significator. Okay, hold on. Let me pull it down again. Well, it was one somewhere else. So, okay. So you've got Mars, and then now it's moving again.
Hold on, let me just get the screen a little clearer for you.
Okay.
Here.
So you've got Mars in the 9th house. 1, 2, 3. K2.
No, we're looking to see if it's exalted or debilitated. So we go to the chart for exaltation and debilitation. And we look to see, first off, Mars is sitting in the sign of Leo, because this is the 5th sign of the zodiac, right?
Okay.
Leo. And then if Mars is exalted in Capricorn, no, that means it's not Leo. And then we go all the way across, and we see Cancer. And no, it's not debilitated because it's not in Cancer, it's in Leo. So what we can surmise is there's no debilitation, no exaltation.
Okay.
Got
So it is equal.
Well, equal, I don't know if we use that term, it's just 0. It's,
0.
nothing to write home about. There's nothing special about it as far as exaltation, debilitation, so 0, 0.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go see if it's a fixed, cardinal, or mutable, just by its nature, the 9th house. Molly, what do you have for fixed, mutable?
I was over here making a new chart.
Oh, I love that. You're doing that.
So fixed, mutable, and cardinal. The 9th house is a mutable house, but the sign, number 5, is Leo, and Leo is fixed.
Excellent. Did everyone understand that? I'm going to just copy and paste. It's fixed. So just so that, in case anyone got lost on that, I'm going to repeat it. So how do we figure out whether it's fixed or mutable? We go to the actual sign. The actual house is number 9 right here, and it's mutable just by nature. We don't care about Mary's chart at this moment. We're just caring about the nature of this particular house, and that's mutable. So we put in a check mark here, mutable. Then we want to go deeper and just get something special about Mary and learn about her chart. We look at this 9th house, and we see that it's in the sign of Leo. So number 5, the 5th sign of the zodiac is Leo. And is Leo a mutable, or is it a cardinal, or is it a fixed? Well, let's go to the chart and let's check it out. Where did that go?
So you have to go 3 levels down to find it.
What did you say, Jamie?
You went 3 levels to find it. Whether you start and then you find if it's 3 levels out.
I don't know what, I can't find it. Where did I just put fixed? It's like I'm lost in my own. Here it is. Okay. Oh, I had it open the whole time. Okay, so then we go to the 5th. Remember it was owned by Leo? We go to the 5th sign in the natural chart owned by Leo, and we see that Leo, number 5 here, is a fixed sign. So that's why we put fixed here in red. Did everybody follow me?
Did you go the 9th sign or the 8th? Because the 9th sign is mutable.
So this is the natural chart, the 9th sign, because we're analyzing the 9th house, its natural state, not Mary's chart, not your chart, or anyone else's chart.
It's just not fixed.
The natural chart is just always in the 9th house, mutable, no matter what. But if we want to go to look at Mary's and really get into it, we would look at the sign that is sitting in her 9th house, right? So let's go look at the sign. You and me. Let's pull up the sign. It's
Okay.
Leo. We're in the 9. See 9 right here? This is the 9th house. That's
Okay.
owned by Leo. That means we need more information. So we go back to this chart and we go to Leo. Oh my goodness. The 5th house is owned by Leo in the natural chart. And that tells us that Leo is a fixed sign. It just is. So we are going to say that it has a fixed nature as well as a mutable nature. Because
Okay, so can I just conjecture that because of her natural chart being in those areas, that mitigated things and actually brought forth things into her 9th house, correct?
I don't think so. I don't know that I followed you, but I don't want to say 100%, but there's nothing mitigating anything, so to say.
How did you transfer those planets over?
Can I make a recommendation, Karyn? Because you have it in your manual.
Yeah, maybe
Mars, the planet Mars has moved into the 9th house, and we know all 9 house matters. 5 means in the original zodiac, it's ruled by the sun being Leo. So the dispositor of Mars is what?
9. No.
That's the most important thing, is the dispositor of Mars is Leo.
Okay.
The sun is only ruled by one sign, and that is Leo. The sun, just as the moon rules one sign, which is Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Where all the other planets rule 2 signs.
Thank you, Gary. I hope that helped.
So much.
Okay, good. Good. So Janie, now that you have a better understanding, I'd like you to do the 10th house. When we get to that point, when we get to fixed cardinal mutable, I'd like you to walk me through it. And if you get stuck, I'm going to hold your hand and help you.
Heck yeah, I'll hold your hand.
Okay, good. We will do this together because this is very complicated when you think about the natural chart as opposed to Mary's chart or your chart. We've got, you know what, kind of like, let me explain this. Janie, we did, you know, when you go like to Cosmopolitan magazine and they're asking questions about your dosha, and they ask questions in the questionnaire that refer to things that are actually dynamic and changeable, like do you have diarrhea often? Well, that would refer to your vikruti, your changeable condition, right? But then they ask you questions like, do you have a pointy nose and curly hair and big eyes and big bones? That's not mutable at all. That's just very fixed. That would be prakruti, right?
Right.
So that prakruti is never going to change. Like all of a sudden you're going to wake up and have small bones? No, right? So but why does Cosmopolitan magazine lump all that into one? That bugs me. So they lump vikruti and prakruti questions all into one questionnaire, and you get this jumble mumbo screwed up answer, and people get their wrong dosha. And so dosha means imbalance anyway. So it should be a vikruti questionnaire. Things that are changeable. Yes, changeable diarrhea, changeable constipation. Maybe you get a rash every now and then. Maybe you have insomnia. Maybe you have anxiety. Those are things that are going to change. And why don't they just ask that question and then give everybody the answer to vikruti? And then why don't they ask a whole another set of questions for prakruti, which doesn't change? Your bone structure, your pointy nose isn't all of a sudden going to become a pug nose unless you get surgery, right? So those are things that don't change. So if you think about the static chart of the world as it is, it doesn't change. That is your prakruti chart. Then if you think about the vikruti chart, then we look at all the individual things that are moving, like Jane's chart, like Mary's chart is different. But we have to now, as an Ayurvedic practitioner, assign herbs and yoga and a diet based on both vikruti and prakruti. So what I've done in this thing is I've mixed in Prakriti and Vikruti, or call it your natural chart that never changes, Prakriti, and mixed it into Vikruti, the chart that does change. And now we're going to come up with some interpretation here, looking at all this kind of mixed up Prakriti, Vikruti, dynamic, static information all on one chart. Because literally that's what an Ayurvedic practitioner does. We have to take dynamic and static information and mix it up. So that's what we're doing. And when we are doing the mutable cardinal fixed on the static Prakriti chart that is, for everyone, then we look at the actual house, just the house. The house itself is number 9. We're on number 9. We're going to be on number 10. I'm going to have you do that with me. We're going to look at just the 10th house of Prakriti, the chart that doesn't ever change. And we're going to get whether it's fixed, mutable, or cardinal. And then we're going to go to the Vikruti side of things, which would be, oh, this is Mary. We're not looking at Gowrie. We're not looking at Jane. We're looking at Mary. So she's, a player on the stage of life, and this is her special chart. We're going to go to her sign within the 9th house, the sign that owns her 9th house, because everybody has a different sign that owns their 9th house, except somebody like me is an Aries. I have a natural chart. I think somebody else here is an Aries. Whoever the Aries people of the world are, they get the natural chart, so they don't have to count all the signs. But not everybody's an Aries. So we got to count. We got to figure out where the signs fell in the natural chart. And oh my goodness, Leo in Mary's chart fell in her 9th house. Then we have to analyze Leo. Oh my gosh, is Leo fixed, cardinal? And then we look at it like that. And then how do we find the information? We go back to that same natural chart and we look at Leo, the natural chart that I gave you in the PDF, not Mary's chart. And we look at Leo and we find, oh my gosh, Leo is a cardinal or fixed, whatever. What is Leo? I just lost my whole train of thought. Whatever Leo is, we find it in the chart. Leo's fixed, right? Cardinal. Oh, I think I failed that test. It's fixed. Okay, so there we go. Did I help you with that? I was trying to put that together because that piece.
You know what? It was very dynamic. I loved it. You know what? That is why I come back every time to get classes with you.
Oh, thank you, Jane. I'm so glad that reached you. I wanted that to get you because I wish somebody had told me that because I was so messed up, especially being an Aries. I just couldn't get it. I'm like, doesn't everybody have a natural chart? What do you mean natural chart? Where's the natural chart? What's unnatural about my chart? So now I get it. There's a natural chart that just exists out there, and it's just.
It's like you said, this is Jyotish 101. This is not somebody trying to teach 8 years down the road, somebody that's been looking out and doing these things. We're all here to learn.
Oh, this is so the very, very basic learning intro, which I welcome questions because I don't want you to get confused in the very beginning because then you may not want to keep on going. And it took a lot for me to keep going when I was a very newbie and jumped into a class of brilliant advanced astrologers, and it was so intimidating.
You keep right on going, Karyn.
Yeah, I'm going to keep on. I don't want anyone to get intimidated. I don't want you to feel like I felt. I want you to keep learning this because it's so possible to learn this. It's not easy, but it's so possible. Okay, so let's keep going. So this is the element of the 9th house. Who wants to tell me that? Abby, the 9th house element?
Hi, sorry, I was walking into the kitchen to get water, but I've got it. One sec. Let me just get my computer back on. Screens. Dharma, fire.
Fire. And we know it can't be Digbala because it's not in the Kendra. So it's a Trikona. Trikonas aren't Digbala, so no Digbala. And then we have the type of house. What type of house is this? Candy, can you tell me?
It is. We're still on 9, right?
We're on 9, yeah.
Okay. Hold on, sorry. 9 is a Trikona.
Yeah, Trikona. I did that wrong. Trikona. Okay, and can you tell me of the 4 aims, which of the 4 aims it is?
It is Dharma.
Excellent. It's the number 1 biggest Dharma house. Okay. And it fits into that little box. Okay, then let's go to the Lord of the 10th house. Mary's, what's the Lord of your 10th house, Mary?
It's Mercury.
Excellent. Mercury in 10th house is the house of career. So we're going into the associated grahas, and there are none, 0. And are there any aspects, Mary? Can you check the aspects?
Yes, 1 second. Hold on, I gotta pull it up on my phone because it's blocked. I can't see it on the okay,
You got a very busy 10th house with many people peeking into it.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Venus, Sun, Mercury, right?
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. You got that. One more good one.
Is 9, 10, 11. Is that the Mars? Does the Mars look in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Mars goes 4 and 8. So
Okay, so it's not that.
no, but there is a really good one. One of the most benefic planets peeking in.
I don't see it. I'm sorry. I'm not counting right.
So we know that 3 planets have special aspects, right?
Yep.
What are those 3 planets?
So Saturn, right?
Saturn is 1.
Is Jupiter the other?
Jupiter.
Yeah.
Jupiter goes how many away?
Oh, that Jupiter goes 4. Right?
No,
5.
Yes, 5 and 9.
Okay.
So it's getting a Jupiter drishti. So look at you with the busy career girl that you are. You have 4 planets aspecting in. So you have choice about whatever career you really want to do. That's kind of nice to have those choices. There are some people who have no aspects and they just have a big old fat K2 in there, wiping their career right out. Or they have to, they're a nun or whatever. K2 makes you very holy and a high priestess. But you have beautiful 4 planets aspecting right in, giving your 10th house lots of color. So what about the Karaka of the 10th house, Mary? Can we look at that?
The Karaka is, it is Kendra. No, wrong one. It is, sorry, I'm just trying to grab that chart. I actually was able to print them out, but, oh, gosh, it is busy. It's the Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn.
That's a lot. The 10th house is also extremely busy as far as its Karakas. So let's put them all in: Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn. Okay, we're going to start going through these quickly because I want to get to the career pointer. Okay, so good job, Mary. This will be a busy one, the 10th. The exaltations, can we do that? Abby, do you see anything exalted in her 10th house? Nothing. There's no planet, so we're just going to say 0. I'm sorry I called on you. I just felt like saying your name. Sorry. I'm just getting giddy. Okay, I got to stop that. Now we are going to see nothing is debilitated, and is it a fixed house? Candy, is it fixed? Oh, no. Let's get back to Janie. We're going to do this together, you and me. I'm going to hold your hand. Let's look at the 10th house. Is the natural chart, not Mary's chart, the natural chart fixed? Let's check it out. Are you with me, Janie?
I think I'm trying to pull up the charts and everything keeps moving. So
Okay, we're looking right here at this chart.
yeah, and it's a cardinal chart.
Yep, it's cardinal. So we're going right to the 10th house. And we're just talking about the natural, this is a natural chart. So we're going to say it is cardinal. And that's a check. Then we're going to go to Mary's chart and make it very specific to just Mary. 10th house is owned by this little number here. Do you see this number on your screen?
Virgo.
It's Virgo, and it is in Virgo. Let's check out Virgo. On this natural chart, Virgo, it sits right here.
I can't see it.
So if I move it over here, can you see it?
No, it's okay though.
You have it in your email. So it is a mutable sign. Virgo is mutable.
Okay.
I'm gonna put the Rashi here as mutable. Did you see how I got that?
Yeah, I did. I just couldn't pull up the chart. I seen the number. I just couldn't pull up the chart.
Okay. As long as you know how to do this, you're with me.
I know. I just can't pull the chart.
Okay, so that's homework. You can practice this. You've got this. You know.
Oh, I know the numbers.
Okay, good. So let's go to the elements and look at the 10th house. Janie, what do you see in the 10th house? Can you see my screen?
Earth.
Earth. Perfect. So we're going to do Earth here. And then it is in the Kendra, so it could be Digbala. So, Abby, can you tell me if there's anything Digbala going on?
Okay, so if there was, it would have to be the Sun and Mars.
But there's nothing in there.
So there's not, yeah.
There's no Digbala. Right. Okay, 0. 0, 0. And all these have 0, 0, 0. And that's a 0. Okay.
Did anybody else see how that went? Why that went that way?
Why there's no Digbala in the 10th house?
Right. I think they were all looking. So can we?
Yeah. So if you look, we've got the 10th house right here. Yes.
And why is that?
The 10th house is in the Kendra. So if there was a Graha in there, then that Graha might be Digbala, might not be Digbala. But since there is no Graha in there, it's empty, there's no Digbala for anything.
Right.
Right. So we just clear that Digbala right out. Just give it a 0.
Thank you.
You are welcome. I'm going to make it an 8. Trikona. So is it a Trikona? Is it a, what do we call this kind of a house? Candy? What kind of a house is it? The type?
It is a Kendra.
No.
It's a Kendra.
Oh, 9?
We're in the 10th. We're in the 10th
Well, I
house.
can't see the 10th. I can only see the 9th. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I sent everybody this on an email too, because so it doesn't have to rely so much on my jumbled up screen. It's so squished in here. Okay, then we have 4 aims. So, Mary, will you tell me what aim?
Yes, it is Artha.
Excellent. Arta. All about work and the, a car and the white picket fence and money, getting your ducks lined up so that you can survive in this world is what Arta is all about. Okay, so practical things of life. Now we're going to go to, we only have 2 left, and then we can go right to this really fun exercise, the career pointer. We can get that done pretty quick. And then I want you to guess who the chart is. It's kind of cool. Now we have the 11th Lord. Could, Abby, you give me the 11th Lord of Mary's chart?
11th, so that's 7, Venus.
Excellent. Venus is the Lord, and we're just ignoring the outer planets. So I'm going to just say forget Neptune. There's no Graha association. And we're going to go to the aspects. So Renee, would you give me what might be aspecting into the 11th house? Are you there, Renee?
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Okay.
Let's see. I don't see anything. Let's see. Special aspects. Saturn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, Saturn.
Excellent. Saturn is the only special aspect. So there we go. And then we have the Karaka, which would be, if you're with me, Renee, what is the Karaka of the 11th?
Jupiter. Yay.
Jupiter, yay! It's the house of blessings and wish fulfillment, and it's a money house, and we know that Jupiter governs money. Okay, so is it exalted? Is there anything in there exalted? There's actually nothing in there. We're ignoring Neptune. So let's go 0, 0, 0, 0, and then let's look to see if it's fixed, cardinal, or mutable. Janie, do you want to do that one?
I'm good. I'm watching because I got lost in that 0, 0 for the last one.
Oh, because there's nothing in there. It's empty. So
Right.
if it's 0, 0, that means there's no exaltation, no debilitation, because there's really nothing in there. So it's not like a trick question. It's so simple.
No, I know. Oh, I know. I'm just following. I'm following. So I'm following this. So go
Okay.
ahead, Renee.
Okay, so let's ask Abby. Do you want to tell me if the 11th house in the natural chart is fixed?
Fixed. Yes.
Yes. There it is. She says fixed number 11. And now we're going to check it off and look for what is in her 11th house. So it's owned by Libra. So how about Renee? Do you want to tell me what's going on with Libra as far as being fixed, mutable, or what?
It's cardinal.
It's cardinal because Libra sits right here. 7. Okay, good job. We got cardinal as, oh wait, put that over there and then 0 over here. Okay, let's go on. Then we have the element. What element belongs to the 11th house? Right here, air. So air, I'm gonna just fill these in. And then is it Digbala? It can't possibly be because it's not a Kendra. So 0. And the type of house it's a trikona, right? Trikona. And Gowrie, can you tell me what aim it is? What are the aims?
We're on the 11th house. The 11th house is moksha. No, the 12th house, kama.
Kama. Excellent. It's kama. Okay. And then we have one last house to get through. I know this is grueling and it's so time consuming, but this is good practice. So the nuts and bolts, we're getting it down. The Lord of the 12th house, of Mary's 12th house is
Jupiter.
No, it's not.
Oh, shit.
That's
Sorry.
okay.
I want
Go
Jupiter.
Jupiter.
No, it's
that's
not.
I'm sorry, Gary.
That's okay. I love you, Janie. You are so lovable.
I want Jupiter here because I need spiritual enlightenment. Okay.
I know. It's like it's my most favorite planet, so I love when someone yells it out with joy. Okay, so Jupiter is not owning the 12th, but we can say Mars is. Mars is because
Mars. Oh my
Yeah.
God. For her, it's Mars. I'm sorry.
So you see the 8, this number 8, it's sitting in the 12th house. With the 8th sign of the zodiac is Scorpio. And who is the landlord that owns the real estate of Scorpio in the sky?
Mars.
Mars.
Mars. You're right, Gary. I was just thinking 12th house is Jupiter, and I love Jupiter, so
That's okay. You can scream out.
I
Jupiter.
wanted to do it for her.
That's okay. And the Graha is associated or zero. There's nothing in there. What's aspecting? Molly, can you tell me what's aspecting the 12th house?
I am so sorry. I'm actually in Excel making you another chart. Okay.
Then let's move on. Let's get you busy with Excel. Gowrie, can you tell me what's aspecting the 12th house?
Yeah, if you can get if you can get your chart out of the way.
Yes, here. It's out. It's out.
Actually, Mars is aspecting it.
Mars is aspecting for sure. But what else is the southern aspect?
And Jupiter opposes it.
Yeah, so Jupiter and Rahu always gives a southern aspect. We let Rahu give a southern aspect, but we don't give it special aspects. So Mars, Jupiter, Rahu.
Only Rahu? You're only giving Rahu, not Ketu?
Yeah, right.
Oh, Ketu can aspect 7 too, but Ketu can't aspect into its own self, right? So we're just giving it Rahu. Right? You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
But I do want to add one more thing.
Yeah,
Well,
can I apply? Can I apply?
So let Gowrie finish, Janie, and then I'd like to hear what you say. Say that again, Gowrie. What are you adding?
No, when you get to the aims and everything, I'll add.
Okay. So,
All right, thank you.
Karen,
yes.
a quick question. Wouldn't the Graha associated with it be K2?
Associated 12. Oh my gosh, thank you. Oh, Mary. I'm so excited to get to the career pointer. I'm messing it all up. Thank you. Yes, it is K2. That was great that you just noticed that. Okay, now the Karaka. We have an empty spot there. Or let's just make sure that Saturn didn't go in there. No, there's no other aspect. So that's just Mars. Okay, Mars, Jupiter, Rahu. Now we have the Karaka of the 12th house. What's the Karaka of the 12th house? Abby, want to do that?
Saturn.
Yes, so Saturn is the end of life, so it's the end of the chart. It's the old age, so it's the old age spot in the house, in the chart. So let's say Saturn, and is anything in there exalted? Abby, can you see that?
I don't think so. Let me see. Oh,
This is the chart right here.
No.
Number 8.
No.
It does look like K2's in Scorpio.
Oh, sorry, K2. I was looking at Saturn. My mind got confused. Yes, it is exalted.
It's
Nice.
exalted. Let's put a check there.
Oh, okay.
How nice to have an exalted K2. It makes Mary very spiritual. Mary is our spiritual little yogini. Okay, let's just put a check there. And now we have no debilitation. And we have, is it fixed? Is it not fixed? The 12th house, just the nature of the 12th house, not Mary's chart. Anyone want to tell me if it's fixed or not? How about Janie? Do you feel like telling me if it's a fixed, if I show you the chart? Here, is this the 12th house right there? What do you see here?
It's mutable.
Mutable. Yes, it is mutable by nature. And then let's just get really specific on Mary.
You would do that to me.
What'd you say?
I said you wouldn't do that to me. Make very specific. Okay.
This isn't that hard. So this is her 12th house, and it's owned by Scorpio. This number 8 sign of the zodiac. Her 12th house is owned by Scorpio. So we go back to this little chart and we look at Scorpio. Where is Scorpio? Scorpio, Scorpio. Okay, there it is. What is Scorpio?
Let me look.
I have it on my screen.
It's fixed.
Fixed. You got it. So we can say that this is a fixed.
So it mitigated that mutable sign, right?
It's a double fixed. It's fixed on both the natural chart as well as Mary's chart. So we're going to give it a double check.
You're a double check, Mary girl.
That's quite fixed. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So let's save that. Thank you, Janie. Save that. And then we're going to go to 0 here, 0 here, and the element. What's the element of the 12th house? The natural element.
Are you still talking to me?
Well, yeah, you can look at it right here.
Well, I can't really see anything, but I think the 12th house would be,
See that?
I don't see crap except,
It's water. I'll just say water.
okay, water.
Oh, God.
I don't see anything except this big, I see your screen and what you're putting on there. That's okay.
Okay, we have water as the element of the 12th house. And it usually means journeys overseas. If you can think about 12th house, it's journeys overseas. Love that. Costa Rica, here we come. Okay, now we have Digbala. Can it possibly be Digbala? No, because it's not a Kendra. And what type of house is it? We know it's a Dushtana.
Moksha.
Dushtana and a Moksha. Because Moksha, why would it be a Moksha house at the end of life? We all get liberated. Let's just hope to God we all get together.
But you're moving forward.
And we're going to heaven, hopefully all of us. We're all going to receive liberation in heaven, and that is why it's a Moksha house and a Dushtana house, because we all have to go through adversities to become enlightened and liberated. So the Dushtana aspect of it gives us the liberation, and then we get to incarnate again if we want. But hopefully this is my last life. I don't think I want to come back. So moving on to the 4 aims.
Can
Yeah?
I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Why was the house not mutable?
Why was the house not mutable? Let's just see. So, okay, mutable 0. So we go to this little chart. Oh, it is mutable.
Okay.
Why did I say no?
Tell us what's the difference?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So the
No, because you were looking at Scorpio, because it's ruled by Mars, and Mars is the dispositor, and Scorpio is a fixed sign.
Yeah, so, but that, I gave it a double fixed, and it was not. It was, so you're right.
Oh, okay.
It one part, you know, the natural chart is mutable, and then Mary's chart is fixed. So that,
So this is
what you
higher
get.
learning.
What?
This is higher learning when we go to the doubles, right?
The doubles?
Yeah.
No, I don't know about higher learning with having it be a double. It would just give it more impact if it was double.
Okay, so it's like having an exaltation with a retrograde.
You lost me.
What does doubles mean?
The double check I had the natural chart by accident being fixed, and I had the Mary's specific chart also being fixed, which meant that would be double fixed. But it wasn't. It was my fault for rushing through so we could get to the career pointer, the fun stuff. I get really bogged down with the nuts and bolts. So at the end of anything that I get bogged down with, I usually make mistakes. So I made a mistake. It's not double fixed. It's not double. So the double, don't even worry about the double. It's rare that you'll get a double, but if you do get a double, it just means a little extra oomph on that. You know, we'll put some more credibility in that little section of the chart.
So if we could go back and to state that that would be someone coming in for a more in-depth reading.
Say that again.
That would be someone coming in for a more in-depth reading.
No, I don't know that I get your question. We made a mistake and I put a double check in the fixed section, and it wasn't. It actually was just one check in the fixed section and then one check in the mutable section. So
okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Now we're going to check on the 4 aims, and the 4 aims, we go to that chart here. We see that it's a moksha house, so we're going to put the word, moksha. There. Okay, we're done. Woohoo! I don't know if we're going to get through the whole career pointer thing, but you know what? We're going to try, and whatever we don't get through, we will continue on in the next chapter, the next session. Let's close out of here. Goodbye, and close out of this thing. Does anyone want a copy of this?
Yes, please, so I can look at that.
Okay, I will send that to you all when we finish. I'll just send out a big email. In marriage chart, we're going to close out of. Now we're going to open up the career pointer. This is Hart Defoe's formula for career pointer. Where did that go? Okay, I sent you an email with all the information. So career pointer PDF, was this it? Yeah. Okay, so you all got this, right?
Did you just send that today?
Yeah.
I might not have gotten it. I just got home this afternoon. That's why I'm really behind.
Okay, well, you can get it later, but I'm going to show it on my screen here.
Okay.
So, oh, excuse me. So the chart we're going to look at is here. It's a Venus ascendant chart, a Libra ascendant with Venus. So we're going to analyze that using these methods. We look at 3 different lagnas. We look at the Udaya lagna, the Chandra lagna, and the Surya lagna. Now, don't get confused or intimidated by the Sanskrit. Udaya lagna is just basically the lord of the chart. And the Chandra lagna is the moon. Chandra meaning moon. Surya meaning sun. And we ask the following 3 questions. Who is the dispositor, which is just another word for landlord, of each of the lagnas? What grahas are in each of the lagnas? And what grahas aspect those lagnas? Those are the 3 questions, and this is actually really fun. I know Molly is going to love this. This is one of those things that you can wrap your brain around and really, it's like math. So for computer brains and people like that, this is all about checks and balances and systems and formulas, and there's no ifs and no intuition and no, not yet. We'll do interpretation later. So we're going to go right to, let's leave that part, right to the Udaya Lagna. So could someone look at this chart and tell me what the Lagna is?
Venus. Sorry, Libra.
Venus.
Libra.
Excellent. So Venus is the Lagna, and hold on a second. I'm just going to pull all my notes out. Good. And then if we go to, I'm going to leave this. I'm trying to figure out how to get this, all the screen to be, like, put this there. Okay. I don't know. That's not really legible. Can everybody see? No, let me just see if I got the screen a little bit.
I can see your.
There.
I can't see anything.
You can't see the chart?
I can see your computer printout stuff.
Right here. This is what I want you to see. That I see my mouse. Well, I don't think you can see my mouse, but can you see? I just lit this blue up, and then lit that blue up.
Is Baba conditions, career pointer, picture clipping. That's all I see.
Oh no! Just ignore this thing.
Okay.
That's just my
beautiful code. That's okay. I'll look at that too.
This color and then that color. I'm lighting them up. Can you see these blue things?
Yeah. Where do you want me to go with that?
Well, just look. I want everyone to have this screen so we can start filling in the chart. We've got Venus for this house right here. Well, my mouse is just this little square thing or this little plus sign. I wish it would show up as I wish there was a better pointer. Now we're going to do the Chandra Lagna. Can Abby tell me the Chandra Lagna? The moon Lagna?
The moon is in Leo.
That's right. So who owns it?
Sun.
The Lagna is Sun. Excellent. So we put Sun under Chandra Lagna. Now we're going to go to Surya Lagna. Candy, can you tell me the Lagna of Surya?
Sun 9, Jupiter.
Excellent. Excellent. And now we're going to go to the Lagnesha, the Udaya Lagnesha, which is basically, so you don't get confused, it's just the first house. You know, it's the Lagna. So we're going to say Venus, so that doesn't confuse anyone. And then we're going to go to the Chandra Lagnesha, and that is Jupiter. Did anyone have any questions about how to find that?
Wouldn't the
Yes.
Chandra Lagnesha be the sun since it's in number 5 Leo?
Well, it's not. It's Jupiter. So that it's, yeah, I understand why you would say that. Give me a second. The Lagnesha, wait a minute. So God, I had this down
Wait,
and now.
Is it because the sun's because sun is the lord of Leo, and then that goes to the
Yes, thank you.
and then that's in ninth and that's Sagittarius, and then Jupiter rules
That's right. So
Yeah.
it's just one extra connection. Yeah. So we're going one extra step. Thank you, Abby. So it is Jupiter. So Jupiter is the Chandra Lagnesha simply because moon is owned by Leo, and then the sun goes to the third house, which is owned by Jupiter. So the Chandra Lagnesha is Jupiter. And then, and this is Penny's, I have Penny's answer key here, so there's no way that she'd ever make a mistake. So I'm using her answer key, and I will share her answer key with you when we're done, but it's kind of fun doing it without the answer key, so we can guess. The Surya Lagnesha, if we figured out the Chandra Lagnesha, the way Abby just explained that extra step, we'd go to Surya Lagnesha, which is
the
The
sun.
sun?
the sun. Beautiful. So what happens, this is something that's I'm going to teach you in the next class, is the yogas. We see that this 11th house and the third house right here, only after the fourth or fifth analysis, we've seen that this actually reciprocity between these two houses, this beautiful Parivatana yoga. So if you can just keep that in the back of your mind, we're going to learn about Parivatana yogas later, but look at that. So Jupiter owns the third and Jupiter sits in the 11th, but Sun owns the 11th and it sits in the third. So Jupiter and Sun and all of those planets have this interesting family dynamic. They're like a little happy family in this Parivatana yoga. So let's keep going. We have Venus, Sun, Jupiter, Venus, Jupiter, Sun. That's how I wish I could fill that chart in, but I can't do it on a PDF. So we have Venus, Sun, Jupiter, Venus, Jupiter, Sun. Now we're going to go to associations. And the Udaya Lagna association is, Candy, you tell me?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Maybe if you say it a different way, is it something we've been doing?
Yeah, it just means what's in the first house. It's just Venus.
Venus.
Yeah, it's simple. It's not as complicated as it sounds. All the Sanskrit can throw everybody off, and the word opposition, it means, it's just the only way to say, what's in the house. As opposed to aspecting. It's associated with the first house. So Venus. And then the next one is the Chandra Lagna. What is associated with Chandra Lagna? It's very simple, no tricks. Moon. Brilliant. Oh, no. Jupiter.
Wait a minute.
What?
Jupiter. Yeah, so Jupiter is associated with the Chandra Lagna because the moon is in there and it's sitting with who? Jupiter.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. So then if we go to Surya Lagna, let's go to the Surya Lagna.
You can't say conjunct?
Now this is Penny's verbiage. This is literally her chart. This is right off.
I could put conjunct next to association.
Yes, that might help you.
Sorry,
Yes. Put conjunct if that makes it feel, yeah. She doesn't use those Western words. But yeah, whatever works for you to help you understand.
Association isn't Western either.
I'm just doing like the heart to foe way, whatever that is. I don't even know. So we have Surya Lagna. If we go to the Surya Lagna, what is conjunct or associated with Surya? Really simple, no rocket science here.
Mercury.
Mercury, thank you. And then we go to the Udaya Lagnesha, and what's that?
What is Udaya?
What is Udaya?
What is Udaya?
I don't know how to translate that, but it really means just the Lagnesha, the regular old traditional Lagnesha and Lagna. So
Lagnesha is Venus.
Venus is the Lagna, yes, and
no. Libra is the
Lagna.
Yeah, it is. It is okay.
Right. So then we go. There's nothing. It's empty.
So the Lagnesha is not Venus.
Nope.
The Lagnesha is Venus. Yeah, but the Lagna is
Udaya.
Libra. So the Lagnesha. So if we go there, since it's its own thing, we just say 0. Does that make sense? Just say 0. And then we go to Chandra Lagnesha, and the Chandra Lagnesha is, let's see, we'll go to Chandra, and its Lagnesha is Sun, and who is sitting with the Sun, associated with the Sun?
Mercury.
Mercury, yes.
What?
Yeah, Mercury's sitting with the Sun. It's
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yep. And then we go to the Surya Lagnesha, and we find, where is that? It is in the 11th house. And, the Surya Lagnesha, I'm sorry. Is that right? Surya Lagnesha is Jupiter. Where does Jupiter go, and what's it with?
With the moon.
Moon. So moon goes in that little box. Moon goes there. So let me read across this box right here. Association, or call it conjunct. We have Venus, Jupiter, Mercury, nothing, Mercury, moon. Okay, now we're going to go to aspects. There's nothing aspecting into the Lagna, so we put a 0. We're going to go into the Chandra Lagna. So the Chandra Lagna, let's go right into, let's see, the Chandra Lagna, it's going to be I see the planet that aspects into the Chandra Lagna.
Mars.
Can anyone else see it? Mars, exactly. Mars goes into this little box right here. And then we go to the Surya Lagna. And the Surya Lagna is what? Anyone? What is aspecting into Surya Lagna?
Jupiter.
Jupiter and one more. Sun. Oh, sorry, Mars. Jupiter. I'm getting really punchy. It's getting to the bewitching hour. Oh my gosh. Jupiter and Mars. Jupiter and Mars. Can you all understand how that happened?
No.
Okay. I'm losing you. So the Surya Lagna is right here. So the Surya Lagna is Jupiter. And Jupiter, let me see, let me see if I can explain this. So Surya Lagna is Jupiter. And Jupiter, it goes over here. And Jupiter, Mars, she wrote Jupiter and Mars, 1, 2, 3, 4. Huh.
We need another class.
Yeah, we're burnt out.
I think we're all burnt out. I don't know why she put Jupiter here.
It's
because
okay.
Jupiter aspects it,
Yeah, it's
and
5
Mars
away.
aspects the third
Mars
house.
aspects it, but how can Jupiter aspect it? She wrote that down, so it makes me wonder.
The fifth, 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5. It aspects the third house with its 5th aspect.
1, 2, 3. Oh, there it is. Yes, thank you. So we're looking at this house, and we're going. Mars goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Mars goes into that house, and that house is the Chandra Lagnesha. and then we go to Jupiter, and we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It goes in and aspects this third house. And then the last thing is Mars. This is really simple. We're almost done, actually. So Mars is the answer to the very corner. And why would that be? With the Surya Lagnesha. The Surya Lagnesha, same thing. It's Jupiter. So Mars goes over here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And aspects right here. So now the next thing we do, we've got this whole chart filled out. Yeah?
Karyn, can you just read off the bottom line, the ASP line?
Sure. So 0,
Yep.
Mars,
Mhm.
and Jupiter, Mars, 0, Jupiter, Mars, and Mars.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And I'll actually just pull it right up here, so you all can see. These are the answers from Penny. So
I don't see anything but little thumbprints, but that's okay.
see if I can make this bigger.
I'll just pull them up later.
I can always send this over to everybody. Can everybody else see this?
Yes, I
All
can
I'm
see
seeing
it.
is little thumbprints, but that's okay. I don't want to impede the class.
How about that? I just blew it way up, Janie.
I got nothing. I got squares.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I blew up the wrong one. Darn it.
That's okay. No, don't bother. I'll go back through and I'll relook at the video and the audio. That last hour, I don't have a clue what you were talking about.
Oh, no. We got lost. Well, maybe we'll have a satsang and we'll review everything in the satsang.
No, that's okay. I think I'm not the only one that's got to review this because you're going into places that we need to review.
Well, that chart thing that we just did, all those little teeny weeny chart, little pictures, those little sections, that we all have studied. I was just taking all of the information we studied those charts before. But
Oh no! I don't have a problem with any of that.
This is all new.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is new stuff. We're doing new stuff right now.
Yeah, and I didn't get the information. I did not get it until you don't download it quick enough because usually I work all Saturday and Sunday, and I don't have a chance to look at this.
You don't need to look at it. It's just it's for learning purposes during the class. When I send a handout, nothing for you to learn or test to take or anything. So that's why it just goes out for handouts so that if you're getting on
But
Zoom.
it's kind of nice to look at it before you talk about it.
I guess so, yeah. It's just hard for me to
it
do all that. I try. I'll do my best to get it to you early. Sometimes I can't get things out as early as I like.
That's okay. That's okay, Karyn. I just want to know that you understand that if I don't get a chance to review it, then I can't respond to it because I don't have a chance to understand it.
I understand what you're saying. So really all I expect you to do when I send an email on the same day, I don't expect anyone to have mastered anything in like 1 hour if I send it the hour before. All I expect is for you to be able to pull it up and follow along with me in the class.
Okay.
That's what the purpose of these handouts are. It was a follow along, not a learning or a testing or for you to master it or review it. That's not the point. That's what the manual is for. But this
was kind of what I felt like this was today.
No, there's nothing here that you had to, because you couldn't have possibly learned how to do it without me.
Absolutely not.
No, that's why it's just a handout for you to look at so that you follow along with me instead of trying to squeeze it all into my screen so that you could have your own screen up or you could print it out and we could all follow along. It's nothing for anyone to master or review. It's just a follow along kind of thing is what I sent out today. And this is also a follow along. There's no way you could ever look at this and try to get anything out of it without me telling you because there's no directions on it. Right?
And that's why, you know what, I have to be quite honest. You made me look or feel like, what am I doing in this class? Because I have no clue what you're talking about.
Oh, no, I don't want you to feel that. I have felt that way before. It's a horrible feeling.
It is a horrible feeling.
Oh, it is. I've been there, but that's not the truth. You belong here. This is a beginner class, so you don't have to feel like some, advanced student. It's okay to ask questions and even to mess up. That's what it's for. Don't feel bad. Don't feel like you're lost. And, if you do feel like this part, because we're at the tail end and everyone's getting burnt out and tired. So this is a lot to give you. I really wanted to show this to you because it's really not that complicated, because I'm almost done. The next 5 minutes will be finished with this chart. I wanted you to get the nuts and bolts all put together because we only have 2 more classes left. So that's why I made this big, huge table and we went through it. And that was a sort of a review, but it's a practice as well. And that should have already been kind of familiar with it because you've all had the manual and you've seen all those little charts, the tattva elements and the Digbala chart and the debilitation chart. You've all seen those. So that is what today was about, was sort of a practice, put it all together on one big, huge chart. And that took a lot. It took longer than I wanted it to take, but it took whatever we could do. And if you feel lost in that, we can do a satsang, but that doesn't mean that you're behind on anything, you're not good enough, or you don't belong here. Just let that dialogue go, because you do belong here. You are doing just what you're supposed to be doing. You're exactly where you need to be. And we can, this week, meet up. Maybe we can get 2 or 3 people, or if everybody wants to meet, we could have a satsang. We could do some more nuts and bolts review. And then
because I don't think I'm the only one. I don't think I'm the only one that wants to start back and say, let's do a review of everything we've learned, because we have never really done that. And I'd like to do that. Just say, okay, let's go back. Let's start from the first tier strings and move on to the Digbala, to everything. And where are we with that? So that
that we passed. We did pass. That was called Graha Vichara.
But a lot of people didn't, though.
We had a satsang to cover it, and we did 2 or 3 classes on it. So what I need you to do is practice at home, because I can't possibly teach you everything and get it, there's going to be some of this that's going to be up to the student. I had to learn a lot and to have the discipline to sit by myself and review it on my own. But I also did some satsang when I was learning all this with other teachers, and I did get I think it was maybe 2 weekends, 1 weekend of a class, and then the rest of it was on me. So it's up to everybody here individually to take the knowledge that I teach you, practice it, get together with a study buddy, practice it some more. And when I offer satsangs, do your best to try to carve out time to sit with me. And we can do more satsangs, as we still have 2 more weeks left. We can review the, Graha Vichara, because that's really important. First tier strength, second tier strength. I really wanted everyone to understand that before we moved on to that big chart we did today. Because that big chart we did today, that kind of put all the charts we ever learned into one chart, just for big old practice, assuming that everyone had Graha Vichara down, that how to analyze planet conditions. So if you still feel lost on that, then we need to do some more review, Janie. Is there anyone else that needs a little more review on first tier strength and second tier strength and all that? Can you just say so right now? Unmute. I need to know how many people feel lost. Anybody?
I'm not totally lost, but review would not hurt me.
Okay.
That's all I'm asking.
Okay, yeah. Let me just see anyone raising their hand, and I can't hear you. Everybody. Okay, so Candy and Janie will do, and everybody's welcome to do a nuts and bolts review on first tier strength, second tier strength. And we'll see if we can plan that out this week. And then practice.
That's not what I'm asking.
Oh, what is it?
I'm asking that we go back like we started before. Everybody had their own charts and say, let's review again. Okay, what have we learned? What have we learned from Karyn? What have we learned to move our practice forward with our grahas, our bhavas, our digbalas, so that we know what we're talking about for you.
I guess I don't really understand your question. We'll have a review at the end of our 11 weeks, but you know what, Penny and most teachers, I'm an unusual teacher. I let everybody share their charts, and that's sort of, I'm a little bit of a rule breaker, where
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people reviewing charts so that you can say, you know what, you're wrong, you're right, you've missed that point, that okay, you're okay on that point, you missed this Digbala. That's what I'm talking about, so that we can say, oh, I missed that. I missed that 7th or 5th or 9th or 10th.
we can do that. But we might have to do a satsang, because there are some people who already understand first tier strength, second tier strength. So what that is all that needs to happen, and we shouldn't be pulling up students' charts. I'm doing it because I kind of like the personal part of it. And
I'm not asking about student charts.
So we're going to get a study chart. So Janie, let me speak. We're going to get a study chart. This is what I think you're asking, and correct me if I'm wrong so I understand. You're asking me to get a study chart, any study chart, which I have plenty of, and you want to go over first tier strength, second tier strength, and all the graha conditions, because that is the main nuts and bolts of introduction to Vedic cosmology. There's really not a lot more, except all those other charts we just did today, the Digbala, the directional strength, all those charts that I gave you a PDF on that were in your manual. We've looked at those charts, we've used them, debilitations and all that, and the tattvas and the elements and the artha, kama, moksha. Those charts you should have all been familiar with, because you're doing your quizzes, reading your manual. They're all in your manual. So I just compiled all those charts into a PDF so that you would have it easily accessible today, just at your fingertips to review with me. So what I'm thinking, Janie, you're asking is another class on first tier strength and second tier strength. And what Penny does, my teacher, is that when there's a student or two that feels like they can't get it all, she has 2 tutors. Her name is Susan and the other girl is Emily. And she'll send them to Susan or Emily, and they pay. I have to pay if I feel lost, which is often I do. I pay Emily $25 an hour, and I sit with Emily before she allows me into my next class. I have to have sat with Emily or Susan, a tutor, if I felt left out. She doesn't offer satsangs like I do. She doesn't offer extra, time. She just will send you off to a tutor or ask you to practice and send her homework to show that you did practice it. So what I'm thinking you're doing is you would like to sit with a study chart, review first tier strength, second tier strength. And I don't mind doing that. I'm not going to send you off to Susan or Emily because I don't have one. It's just me. So I will do that with you. We'll do a satsang together and hopefully get more than you. We get maybe Candy and anybody else that wants to join us for another review, so you can feel really strong and comfortable and confident. I don't want you to feel lost. And then you will feel like, oh, I could maybe do the next class and not feel like so behind that you can't catch up. So how does that feel?
That feels wonderful. I don't feel like I'm behind, but I want to feel like I'm ahead.
Okay, so, let's just finish this because we only have a few more minutes. So
I wish I felt like I was ahead.
I never feel ahead either.
I'm lost.
Compared to my teacher who speaks 7 languages and is an Ivy League teacher, or even Simon, or even Krishnamurti, and this is how we should not compare. But oh my God, I feel I have like a lifetime to go before I could ever read a chart like them, or even Joni Patry. I can't compare myself, but we shouldn't compare ourselves. But I don't feel like I'm ahead. Like right now I'm so behind on homework for Penny. It's over.
Well, now you know what? I don't want to feel like that. I'm not. You know me. I'm Pitta.
Yes, I know, but we have to learn. It's how we are, like in any college. I get it. It happened to me. It happens to everybody in school. Sometimes we just don't feel caught up because homework is overwhelming. So we just keep doing the best we can do and just keep practicing. So now we're going to just finish this up 5 more minutes. And we read through here and we got this chart. And this chart was the key right here. This chart is the key because now we're going to count out how many planets. So we have, this is the fun part. Hold on. Can someone tell me how many times sun shows up in this chart? Abby, how many times does sun show up?
Twice.
Twice. Excellent. So everyone make a note. Sun times 2. Then if we take moon, how many times does moon show up? Candy.
Once. One.
So moon times 1. We're going to have a formula within 3 minutes. It's going to be amazing. And how many times does Mars show up? Molly, what do you see for Mars?
I am so sorry. I'm emailing you and everybody else the Excel spreadsheet that I just made with your chart pre-filled with everything that
thank
you would be the same.
You're the
What
best.
was your question? I'm sorry.
That's all right. So
Another book in class and I got busted. What?
it's okay. I actually got busted today, and Penny yelled at me in front of everybody, and I sent her an email saying how hurt I was that she yelled at me. I was actually making a chart in Excel because I didn't know she was going to give us the answers. So I was trying to be a
wow.
and she asked me a question when I was in the middle of fixing the chart, and I had to close out of the chart to answer her question. And she's like, "What's the delay? What's the delay?" And I said, "I'm trying to put, and I don't know the answer. Give me a minute." And she's like, "Well, you should not be doing other things and multitasking while I'm teaching." And I just died. I just turned blue and purple. And I didn't want to argue back because what she does is she mutes you immediately. She'll sting you and then you get muted. There is no way that you get to talk in her class unless you raise your hand. She's very strict. And I'm very like, I'll have these conversations with all of you. I'm just letting everybody ramble. And maybe she's onto something, but it feels pretty scary to be in her class. If you're screwing up, you get caught. I said I was sorry and I explained to her what I was doing. It wasn't that I was like multitasking, reading, something about, gemstone therapy and not Jyotish. So she wrote back apologizing for assuming that I was, anyways, we had this, understanding, but boy, you can't slack off in her class at all, Molly. You would have gotten so in trouble.
I'm sorry. I thought I was going to be helpful.
And I say this with love because I have so much respect for her, but it's a different teaching style, right? And I so love you, Molly. Thank you for doing that. You didn't have to do that, make that for me. But let's finish this up quick. So we're going to find the career pointer. Who is the career pointer? And then we are on to something. So we did count Mars, right? Somebody counted Mars. We have 4 in Mars. 1, 2, 3, 4. So do Mars times 4. And then Renee, can you count how many we have in Mercury?
I see 2.
2, yes. And can Mary, can you count how many we have in Jupiter?
Yes. 4 Jupiters, 5 Jupiters. 1,
5 Jupiters.
3,
Hello.
4,
5 Jupiters. Keep that in mind. Now we're going to do Venus. How many do we have in Venus? Candy.
3.
3 in Venus. So what we do is go with the highest number. So we know that Jupiter is our career pointer. So when someone comes to you and says, "Oh, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up," or whatever, I want to change my career, I'm having a midlife crisis, or we go right to Jupiter. And what does Jupiter tell us, right? So we go here to this chart. Jupiter's sitting in the 11th house retrograde with Moon. So let's kind of do the interpretation here. We know that these 2 houses have a Parivartana yoga. They have reciprocity with each other. They can both have the key to each other's house and go in the refrigerator and munch out. And then the sun is bright, shining, and brilliant. Mercury is also brilliant. We know Moon is very artistic. Well, can you imagine with a Swa Venus in the first house, which is also a Karaka for entertainment? So I'm giving you clues. What did this person do for I'll give you another clue, his career?
Singer, entertainer.
Yes, he was a singer, famous singer, entertainer. Do you know who it might be and what kind of music? You can kind of tell by looking at the 8th house what kind of music he played.
Pop.
What?
Punk.
Punk. Punk.
Michael Jackson.
No, it wasn't Michael Jackson, but you're close. Kind of, sort of, but
Was it Elvis?
it wasn't Elvis. No.
Oh my God, was this Prince?
No, he's not. It's not Prince. So just get one more guess.
It's
Not-
Mars
Yes.
and
Not
Saturn.
Frankie.
Jimi Hendrix?
Oh my God, so close, Jimi Hendrix. No, it's Keith Richards, Rolling Stones.
Oh,
Oh my God.
rock and roll. Yeah.
Oh.
Rock and roll. So what about rock and roll? Mars in the 8th house, right?
Yeah.
Mars is like, this will stir up the pot. This isn't like, Beethoven. This is like, really intense, passionate music. And look at that Venus Swa in the first house, and look at his nodes are retrograde. This guy was an amazing artist with the Parivatsana Yoga in the 2 entertainment houses. Amazing. So if this person showed up at your doorstep and said, what should I do? You would look right at that Jupiter, because you now have the formula. What we just did, it showed up 5 times in this formula. Go right to that Jupiter, and you could recommend he become a rock star. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Have you ever done that? Have you
Who
ever
was this? Who was this again?
Keith Richards, Rolling Stones.
Okay.
Have you ever done that, Karyn, that you've seen these things and actually told people?
I actually did a really good job with someone last week at the Power of Juice. She came in. I use the cards too. It helps so much. And I told her she should do Feng Shui, Vastu, because she had the artist connection, and her 4th house was really busy. She had Venus and Moon conjunct, and she had metaphysical pieces showing where she loved spirituality. And with the artist thing in the very busy 4th house of career in real estate, home and real estate, I just looked at her and just intuitively I felt, and I didn't do this formula because I just learned this formula. So I told her she should do Vastu, and she was so excited. She's studying it now. She was going for interior design. She was a doctor. She was a doctor from the Netherlands or UK. She had one of those accents, and she didn't want to be a doctor anymore. So she was the 4 of Hearts. She had 4 of Hearts governing her career, which is the metaphysician. So I wasn't surprised she was a physician, but I said, now take your physicianness and let's take it into beauty and this beautiful 4th house. And so she now is so excited to get the interior design and take a side course in Vastu and make it a unique course so she could decorate people's homes and bring healing. I felt so like I did something really good that day and helped somebody. It felt really good because she was lit up when I gave her the idea. She came in so lost. Imagine she was a doctor, had no idea what to do. She doesn't need money, so that was a problem. She was a lesbian, so she was married to this very rich woman, and she didn't have to work. So when people aren't really driven by money, then sometimes they can get a little more lost, I've found. That's been my experience. If people have money, there's some more of a driving force, so let's figure this out because I got to pay my rent. But, when people don't need to, then they tend to kind of get like ADD, like, well, maybe this, maybe
They
that.
need more spiritual grounding.
What'd you say?
They need more spiritual grounding.
Yeah, like that. So,
And that, you know what? It was because of you that I moved on with what I did after your reading with me with your cards. I did what I did. So
that's so good to hear.
With Karyn, I did the reading and I did what Karyn said to do. And I am very, very thankful, Karyn.
Oh, that just makes me feel so happy. I feel so, that gives me purpose. Sometimes I wonder, what the heck am I here for? But when I have people like you give me a testimony, and then that position,
Absolutely.
thank you, Janie. And that position, I just hope she checks in with me next year at Power Juice, because I'll always probably be there.
You gotta check it with us to let us know how she did.
Yes, I will. I will keep you posted. She was a delight to read for, and that was pretty simple. But I have not used this. I'm not going to lie. I have not used this formula. I'm dying to use the formula. I want to figure it out. So I would like for all of you all, for your homework this week, I haven't sent your quiz yet.
Yeah.
But your homework this week is to do one person with this formula and figure out their career. And then let's talk about it next week. Okay?
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Blessings,
I love you
everybody.
all.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a happy night. Peaceful dreams.
Peaceful love.
Good night.